Hi, welcome back to Reddit Stories. I'm Shane. I'm Shane.
I'm Shane.
I'm Shane.
And today's theme.
My girlfriend has a weird folder on her phone and I don't know how to talk about it. This comes from True Off My Chest. So my girlfriend told me to look for a recipe she saved in her screenshots. I was scrolling but first got to the folder Fugly Armpits and there were more than 200 plus pictures. I asked her what the folder is about, and she said, a few months ago, I realized that some skinny people have extremely weird and wrinkly ass armpits, so I wanted to check how often I see wrinkly armpits. I looked through the folder, and there sure were a lot of pictures of just armpits, which were wrinkly. I'm just confused. I don't know if it's a quirk of hers or if I should address it somehow.
But what's left to address? Because clearly, they already approached their girlfriend and said, like, what is this? And they're like, oh, I realized this thing happened. What do you say after that? Is there more? Like,
well, this is just True Off My Chest. So he just wanted to confess. He wanted to confess to the internet what's happened in his life.
That he found this.
Yeah, he's not asking if anyone's the asshole or something. That's not that subreddit. So he's just letting us know this weird thing that occurred. I guess, yeah, she's just like, I like to see wrinkly armpits. If you had a partner who did that, would you just believe them and just be done? Be like, all right, great. You can keep having your folder of wrinkly armpits.
Or I think the question is like, is it appropriate if someone's fascinated by something that's weird or gross to you? Can you be like, why? Right?
You can't ask, I guess you can ask, be like, hey, where does that come from?
Like what?
Where does that come from?
Did you have like a good childhood or like?
Well,
yeah.
I'd be like, what feel you just like to see it?
Because like that's the thing too. When it's like, no, I realize they have weird armpits. So weird is a very specific phrase of like, there's a little bit of judgment on there. So it's like, are you getting some joy out of body shaming, or is it just the same thing of just like a pimple popping video where you're like, this feels good somehow?
Yeah, so there is an edit here.
Okay.
No, my girlfriend doesn't have an armpit fetish. No. She told me she's saving them because it's like looking at a train wreck. I asked her if she wants to do armpit stuff in bed, and she immediately said, "Aw, hell no, don't ever touch me there."
He goes, can I stick my dick in your armpit?
I just like him sitting down just being like, babe, do you want me to stick my dick in your armpit?
I can be that guy for you.
Because that was my question is like, okay, if it's a separate folder on her phone, like I would just be like, oh, is this a sex or love thing, right? To be like, I think that's the only appropriate question he can ask because it's his business kind of as her partner maybe. But like if she's just into that, like if you had a folder of weird cloaks.
You can't even come up with a thing that's similar. Is how weird this is, Angela. Like it's weird.
The last thing he says here is she also said it's like watching 600-Pound Life, but in an armpit version. So now we know. LOL. I guess her explanation is she likes looking at. She's just captivated by people who have ugly armpits.
Here's the thing, I think the weirdness almost makes us more forgiving of it because it's something we haven't heard before. But if it were any other, like, more regularly seen thing that you would maybe body shame or someone would body shame, that's when you'd be like, ooh, you're not so great a person. Like, I keep a folder of, like, ugly faces. Like, look how ugly this dude is. It'd be like, oh my God, like, why are you doing that? But because it's armpits, we're like, I guess what you like.
I don't think I've ever looked at an armpit and been like, that's an ugly armpit.
But there's no good armpits. Armpits are weird.
Armpits are weird.
I also think just take armpit out of it. This person has an album of something that isn't hers on her phone that she goes to feel fun.
She must have found these on the internet though. She's not taking photos of other people's armpits.
So these are stock images or whatever.
I don't know why she doesn't just Google ugly armpits.
See, that's my thing. I'm like, if she did find this on the internet and not just like around, like in other people's photos, like why save it to your phone? Why would there would probably be a Reddit community of like armpit town.
There's gotta be. There's a subreddit for everything.
But I think she's lying and it is a sex thing.
You think so?
It's possible.
Why would you have it on your phone? I feel like the only reason why people have albums that they refer back to are pictures of themselves or their family or their dogs or like memes. Like who's gonna be like, oh, I have an album of sunsets I've never seen, but they're from the internet and I go to, like who does that?
But I will say, like, if it were a sex thing, you know, that folder was immediately available. It wasn't like locked or hidden or anything like that. And when approached, it was like, oh no, this is a thing that I like. And he was like, do you want something sexual with this? And she's like, no. Absolutely not.
She threw up right there.
Yeah, profusely in his eyes. And that made her attracted to him.
That is so weird.
Like, I just doubt it's a sex thing.
The comments here. Lol, that's about the mildest weird thing you could find in a folder on your partner's phone. I don't think you have much to worry about unless she starts obsessing over your armpit or something. OP responded to that saying, sometimes when I lift my arms, my girlfriend is just like, ugh, your armpits are so pretty. So I don't know, LOL. I take it as a compliment, haha. So she does have a, no,
Bro.
She wants to fuck his armpit.
She wants to put her in his armpit.
Scissor pits.
Someone said, if someone found my
Sorry, that was a bit of a sleeper for you, huh?
Yeah, that took a second.
It really hits in the second wind.
It really does.
Someone said, if someone found my memes folder in my phone, I'd probably put on a watch list or something. And then someone else said, if that is the worst thing about her, she is a keeper.
No. I find this even weirder. You know when something's so weird that you can't put a box around it? This is weird. This is weird.
Would this be like a red flag deal breaker for you?
I think this is, because I can't get my brain to understand why. It makes it weirder to me.
I would almost think that it's like, it's a me problem. If I found my partner had this, I'd be like, I can't wrap my head around. I'm sorry, I need to go to therapy because I can't figure this out.
Yeah. I think you should talk to a therapist about it for sure and be like, hey, I know you can't diagnose another person through me, but just between you and me, what? Like,
and your therapist is like, whoa!
Run. I feel like for myself, as long as we could get to the bottom of things and make sure there wasn't an aspect of like, you enjoy shaming people, like you feel better about yourself because you enjoy looking down at people, because that's gonna come out in other ways. But if it's truly just like, this is my weird thing, some people build trains in their basement, some people spend thousands of dollars on Legos, I like armpits and it's free, I'd be like, all right. Like,
yeah, people are obsessed with pimple popping and stuff like that.
I
guess videos are different to me because that's content, but a picture
just
that
like
you just
look
at. Yeah. And it's not a sex thing, so you're just looking at it because it's just fun to look at.
And her comparing it to My 600-Pound Life, but My 600-Pound Life is a TV show.
There's a story.
With arcs to the episodes and production and all sorts of stuff. These are photos. Just looking at a photo.
But at its core, there is still this like voyeuristic aspect of like, wow, look at how different that person looks than I do.
Yeah.
Or how different someone's experience is than mine is. And
Yeah.
so like, I've never seen that show, but like I would imagine there's an aspect to it of just like, wow, like look at what that's like. Same kind of thing with the pits. So I'm not a fan of either of those, but it's like, if that's your thing, like.
Sure.
I don't know.
Are you already emotionally exhausted from story one?
Actually, this is wild.
I wonder how many comments we're going to get about this story. Okay, next one. Am I the asshole for creating false cheating allegations and breaking up a happy couple? I don't know. I, a 17-year-old girl, once had a best friend, an 18-year-old girl, who was overly obsessed with a boy who she rarely interacted with. It got to the point where her frustration with him not wanting her took up all our conversations, and I couldn't take it anymore. For countless days, she has complained about him being in a relationship, and I was forced to sit and comfort her knowing she was in the wrong, and also slightly crazy. Over and over again, she begged me to help her, but I refused to. Eventually, her obsession overtook our friendship, and I thought it would be harmless to try and slightly interfere with the 18 male's relationship so she could live out her fantasy and have a chance. What I did next, I'm not proud of. I found his girlfriend's socials and messaged her on Instagram with fake screenshots and edited pictures. I also came up with a fake story saying he was cheating. The screenshots consisted of him telling a fake girl that he loved her and hated his girlfriend but couldn't end it. Once she saw my message with proof, she lashed out at me, sending me threats and telling me how the love of her life would never do that to her in a million years. I'm assuming she confronted him anyways because soon after, he admitted to actually cheating numerous times with a variety of women. The couple is now broken up and he never even looked at my friend. Am I the asshole? That's
the best part.
That's insane. Dude. I love how she's like, I did a bad thing. Oh?
Can you imagine? Like,
oh my God. I feel like this stuff happens actually a lot.
Yeah.
Like where someone like does a prank or tries to, or like fake things get assumed, and then it ends up becoming like, oh my gosh, there's reality to this. This is one of those situations where it's like, yes, you are the asshole, even though the result of it was that you technically were telling her the truth, but you didn't know that.
It's like the opposite of the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think technically they're Batman. I think they're Batman. They had to do something maybe not, you know, on the line, but...
yeah, I need to see the Photoshop pictures.
Yeah. How realistic. What if they're so poorly
like
done?
Leaving the... Like,
It's like Sandy from SpongeBob, and him like...
It's like, bro, I saw him.
I saw him. This is real. This is what I saw.
I drew fan art of your man kissing.
Yeah, and he's like, I did it. I really did.
Yeah.
I cheated on you with Foster from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
This looks fake. Well, he's imaginary, but real. Chill. There's only a couple comments here. Someone said, fucking teenagers. And someone else said, looking at their post history, they also got into an affair with someone. Wow.
Whoa.
High school.
Yeah, it never ends.
That's incredible. I love how she was like, I don't want to do this. Fine. I'll elaborately fake a bunch of photos of this guy and ruin his life. That is hilarious. You know what it makes me think of though? So I didn't have social media when I was a teenager. Not really. I had MySpace, which there was some fuckery there, but Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, I feel like there are so many levels of just ruining other students' lives.
Yeah.
Like, and people are very tech savvy in high school nowadays, and she had the ability to completely falsify something like this.
Yeah,
that couldn't happen back in the day. You could probably make ways of spreading rumors and stuff, but not images.
You don't even like have a Twitter, but someone just makes a Twitter in your name, and it's just like saying, like, dude, I don't even want to deal with what it's like to be in high school right now.
I'm so curious what people deal with on a daily basis. It's probably so much harder. I think high school nowadays is probably the hardest it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's like war.
It's a little, it's probably,
like war.
It's a desolate wasteland, and you can't trust anyone.
Wait a minute, that sounds like The Chosen is now at high school.
This place is a freaking hellscape. All right, next story. Am I the butt face for getting a waitress fired for messing up a date with a girl?
Oh. I'm gonna say, okay,
you know, here we go. So I'm single and currently on multiple dating apps and casually dating multiple women. For the most part, I do my second dates with ladies at this awesome restaurant that I order takeout from time to time. I love this place because the food is great and cheap, and the drinks are cheap. I've been doing this for a few months now, and I notice this particular waiter gives me a weird look whenever I walk in with a new girl. I didn't think much of it at the time, so 2 Saturdays ago, I made reservations at the restaurant with this girl that I actually liked, and that waiter I mentioned earlier attended to us. So she walks up to the table and says, "Here again, huh? Ordering the same thing this time?" I was livid. I had told the girl the same line that I tell all of them. Looking to try this new spot. We should go. I had told the girl the same line that I tell all of them. Looking to try this new spot. We should go. Heard good things. The date was very awkward from then on. It goes without saying, this girl I actually liked and clicked with ghosted me. So I'm really angry at this point, so last week I visited the owner and explained the situation to him. He profusely apologized and promised me he would handle it. I found out today that she was let go. I'm not remorseful at all, but I'm just wondering, am I the butt face?
Go. You can go.
Oh! Now you go.
Okay. First of all, don't take people to the same place.
Yeah, you're good.
I think you need to be in a relationship when you start going to the same place. You don't take first dates. You just find out what they like, what do we both have in common, where should I take them now based on what I've been talking to you about. Don't just funnel them into the same machine of dates that you've
It's weird.
created.
I do think that's weird.
Really weird.
It's super weird. I mean, like, I was kind of like rooting for him at first. You're like, okay, like, is this waiter about to shame him about like dating non-exclusively? And like, if he has a favorite restaurant, that's okay. But then like saying like it's cheap, it's easy, it's always the second date. It's like, you are like a very manipulative person, I feel.
And the other thing is, tell them it's a place you like. say, I really like this place. It has cheap drinks, it has cheap food. I'd be like, oh, you know it. It's tried and true. Let's go to it. Don't lie to her and say it's a new place you're trying to try. What does that get you?
And him being like, I lied to her that I said this. Like, you do not value any of these women that you're dating if you are like, the line that I use. And then explain the situation. Huge red flag to me. I don't know what you told that owner, but I don't think it was true because that is not something.
To go out of your way to go there to talk to the owner to get someone fired, I just don't like. I'm like, that's not the response.
That's their living.
If anything, I understand going there by myself. What I would do if I was this guy and I was this asshole, I would go there on my own and I'd be like, can I sit in that section, please? And I would sit there and the waitress would come by and be like, listen. Listen, I understand. I'm a douche, but like, please don't mess this up for me. You can see I've got a system. Like, please just don't. But this is the thing. The owner did fire this waitress for what she said. Now, owners fire people for stupid ass reasons all the time. But it's that he had already told this woman looking to try this new spot. We should.
And told it to all the women.
He told it to all of them. He also, I want to say something. We already know he's an asshole, but earlier on he did say, I made reservation at this restaurant with this girl that I actually liked.
Right.
And we know that he goes there a lot.
Yeah. He goes there a lot.
It's not just like occasionally every other month or every few weeks. He's there like every week.
Well, he already like set the stage of like this waitress who gives me weird looks.
Yeah.
Like he's got an opinion. He already had an opinion.
The manager also did not have that waitress's back. You're a team.
Yeah.
You're working together. You should have her back. She should be able to stick. I don't know what the situation was, but she definitely shouldn't have been fired for just what.
Yeah, I don't think she should have been fired.
No, that's why I don't. When he says I explained the situation.
No, you didn't.
That's like the way he worded that just like gives me the ick because it's like I feel like he just absolutely ripped her to shreds unfairly.
Yeah, 100%, because he lied. He's embarrassed.
A liar.
He's got embarrassed that he lied and he got caught.
And you know what makes me laugh?
Yeah.
Is like, he's pretending this is his first time every time. So he's like,
whoa.
Yeah.
What is this? Those are chicken tenders.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's crazy.
What is a potato?
This is a Chili's.
And also, I'm gonna say it's cheap food and cheap drinks place. So it's not this upper high fine dining.
It's
It's BJ's.
Oh, they said beaches.
Yeah. It is, but like you said, I think that the easiest fix to this is just being like, oh, there's a spot I love.
Yes.
Do you want to come? And that way the waitress says that, it's just like, yeah, dude, I come here all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's like really sweet to me because it's like, oh, you want me to be a part of something that is like you're passionate about. I love that, even though it's just food.
But I think for me, it really comes down to like, if you lie, you're gonna eventually get caught.
Yeah, and also like, yeah, you're lying to all the women you're dating. You definitely lied to the store owner.
And like even anything that she would say to make him feel comfortable, to make him feel like he has been there before, it would blow his cover. She'd be like, hi, how are you? Like that already is.
He got caught.
He's mad that he got caught. So actually, yeah, she didn't say anything wrong.
And if he was thinking ahead, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but like if he was cool to her and he was a regular and he embraced that I feel like helps his game because all the wait staff is like, oh, you're so sick.
100%.
We love you, and then it's like, oh, you're sick. You're cool to wait staff. That's a huge green flag.
And
boom.
Yeah, 100%. You're right.
All right, there's some comments here.
Okay.
Once again, for the back row, if someone telling the truth about you makes you look bad, it's not the truth teller who is the problem. It's your behavior. Yeah, I agree with that.
You're right.
She's not going to think you're adventurous for trying one new restaurant, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa, this place is crazy. What do you think TGIF stands for? You're the butt face. You're gross for every single step of this. Stop being a liar, stop using women, and stop destroying people's livelihoods because your pee-pee is sad. Yeah, I mean, I think the reaction of getting someone fired for that is just so overboard.
100%. She shouldn't have been fired.
You only should fire. I can't imagine.
At worst, a write-up.
Horrible.
How long has she worked there too? You know,
right.
We
Crazy.
don't know.
Am I the asshole for purchasing my guy friend his dream birthday present and outshining his girlfriend in the process? Let's go.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Let's go. Love this one. Okay. My guy friend, Tom, has been one of my best friends since college. We're in our mid-20s now and are both currently in committed relationships with long-term partners. I've never had feelings for Tom, nor has he ever had feelings for me. Since college, Tom has been a huge watch fanatic. 2 months ago, he was showing me this stunning vintage watch and made an offhand comment about how he would die of joy if he somehow got his hands on one. Very coincidentally, I was in New York City a few weeks ago and stumbled upon this watch store and just so happened to have the exact one Tom wanted. It was expensive, I won't lie, at about $2,500. But I decided to get it for his 25th birthday. To me, it was basically fate, LOL. My boyfriend and I do very well financially, so this was something that I could personally afford and wanted to buy for Tom, especially knowing how happy it'd make him. Tom has a tradition of hosting a dinner party at his place for his birthday and then following that up with cake and gift opening. I told him before the dinner that my gift was a huge surprise and asked if he could save it for last, and he agreed. His girlfriend ends up going first, and she gets him this gorgeous sweater that she crocheted for him.
How did I know it was a sweater? I literally, in my mind, was like, it's gonna be a sweater. Sorry.
And a book that he's been wanting, which I thought was super thoughtful and lovely. Last, it was my gift. When he opened it and saw what it was, he literally screamed, hopped over a bunch of people, and squeezed me in this huge bear hug. I was so happy to see him happy. It genuinely filled me with so much joy. He even got emotional, and I saw him swipe a few tears. He also said that it was the best gift he'd ever received. The whole time, his girlfriend was only slightly smiling and stayed quiet. The next morning, I got a text from his girlfriend that essentially said that although she appreciated my thoughtful gift, she thought that it was a bit out of touch and lacking awareness. She admitted that Tom had also told her about the watch and she wanted to get it for him, but it was way out of her budget. She accused me of knowing this, I had no idea, and still getting it to rub it in her face and to outshine her. She finished by saying how she felt like I had overstepped a boundary by getting the gift and would appreciate me not doing anything similar to it again in the future. I responded and told her that while I could see her point of view, I was just trying to do a nice thing for a close friend of mine. I asked her, wouldn't you rather he gotten the gift and seen the happiness that it brought him than him not getting it at all? She responded that that happiness was only shared between me and Tom and no one else, and that she felt hurt by my actions. Only my boyfriend knows about this and he's on my side. But thinking through it all again, I do see how I could have overstepped. But my boyfriend says that it's not my job to apologize for her insecurities. So am I the asshole here? So the verdict was not the asshole, which I fully see. Because, you know, at least from her point of view, she's financially well off, and she's known this person for a long, long time and knew exactly a gift he wanted and got it for her. And the girlfriend clearly feeling very insecure, does not have the same financial situation, cannot afford that gift, feels very threatened, and probably sees that her boyfriend freaked out way more for this gift than hers. That's why I'm just like, that's tough. But I also see why Reddit said not the asshole.
This is one of those rare situations where, like, nobody is the asshole, but there is an asterisk because a few things could have been handled a bit better. Like, I can understand absolutely why the girlfriend would have these feelings of like disappointment and almost like shame of like, well, I couldn't get him that. I couldn't do that for him. Like, even if we can logically piece apart, like, well, you shouldn't. Like, you know, they're in a different situation. You might still feel bad seeing your boyfriend get that happy over someone else's gift. That being said, she loses a little bit of my sympathy when she starts to espouse intent to it, where it's like, you did this to rub it in my face. You did this to make me feel silly. Like, that's too much for me. Similarly, you know, the boyfriend, like the best friend who got the watch, you know, he needs to make his girlfriend feel appreciated in other ways. Like if he's jumping over the table being like, oh, I love this. This is the best gift I got so far today and my life. Like,
you're the most important person to me right now.
Yeah, I never cry. Here are the tears. The crochet.
I've never been emotionally available before, but for you, like, it's like that's for you. After she spent time crocheting a sweater, you can't say this right here is the best gift I've ever gotten.
I'm never gonna read a book again. Not even the one my girlfriend got me.
I hate books and I hate sweaters that are crocheted. This is you. I think I disagree with, sorry, were you done?
No, I was just listening for you.
I think I disagree with her not being the asshole. if it is true that the girlfriend also knew about the watch and that they had talked about it.
That the friend knew about the.
Yes. No, okay, so
because what she accused her of is knowing. Oh yeah. I know. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're saying that the friend knew that the girlfriend also knew about the watch, but couldn't afford it.
Yes. I think then she's an asshole. But I think that could have been like something said out of emotion. I don't know. But I also think that's the only two caveats I have about this, because I don't think this girl wanted to intentionally make her feel that way, unless she knew that the girlfriend wanted to buy him the watch and he couldn't afford it. Then I think it's kind of an asshole move. Or I do think it's kind of, even if your gift's amazing, I think it's kind of weird to be like, my gift lasts.
That is also weird. I
okay,
agree.
that's the thing that I did feel a little weird about.
That's
of
my
being
one
like,
thing.
oh, open up my gift last, because mine's she knew.
That's true.
She knew her gift was the best, and I will say, look, it's one of those things where I'm not trying to be like, oh, they're the asshole for this. But I know my own rules in my own head. And if I'm giving a gift to someone, I'm not trying to outshine their partner or the people who are like maybe the closest to them.
Yeah.
Like, I do think what also we see that does happen, and I've lived in LA a long time, I've had friends who are super f***ing rich. People lose touch of like, that just becomes normal to them. So clearly $2,500 is not that insane for her.
Sure.
If she can just be like, you know what, I decided to do it, why not? Like, I'll do this. And you lose touch with like, oh, that's an obscenely large amount of money for some people. They're gonna be like, well, cool, I could never get that gift.
I think
and that feels like, shoot, you have the ability to make my boyfriend happy in ways that I can't. And it's not a romantic thing. It's just of like, God dang, like, oh, you can affect him in ways I can't because I can't afford it.
I think it's an intimacy thing. I think it happens not just with money, but with time. Like, I've had a friend who like one of my best friends who I've been friends with for so long, and I can get her a gift that means more to her than her current partner if her and her current partner have only been dating a little bit. And I know this person, and I can outdo them, and that's kind of uncomfortable when it's like, birthdays are weird, especially for people in relationships, because sometimes it's like the person who they're dating needs to show that they are the one that loves you the most, and they win you. Like, it gets weird and subtextual and weird.
If it wasn't for the thing of like open mind last,
I agree.
I would feel different. I don't know why that's rubbing me the wrong way, because it does make it a little competitive.
It's what makes it finally like clear that they were like, I know for a fact this is the best, and I want to see you have the biggest reaction to this. And like, to your point, Angela, if this person, the gift buyer, did know that the girlfriend was aware of the watch as well, and it wasn't about outshining anyone, there could have also been a situation where it's like, you know, hey, I found the watch.
Yes.
I know it's too expensive. Do you want to chip in this amount? Because money doesn't matter together, and it could be from us.
There's some important info here.
Okay.
In the comments. Info, what was the average dollar value of the other gifts he got? You said you didn't know it would be a better gift. Were the other gifts there also averaging 2 to 3K each? OP responded, he got a painting that was probably between 2 to 4K. Might have been more expensive than mine. He got another that was probably close to $1,000. Jesus.
Well, no wonder
these people are loaded. They're 25 getting gifts like that. My
he got
God.
a painting, and his girlfriend gave him a crochet sweater.
They're all from the Hamptons.
These are, I think they must be, because being 25 and getting a painting that's $1,000 for your birthday, that's, bro, holy crap.
And also, like, I'll say this too, like, I've gotten bigger gifts for friends before, nothing even close to anywhere like in either $500 range, like hell no, that's insane. But like anytime I've gotten a gift for somebody that I feel is like bigger than the situation average, I've done it privately and I've been like, hey, you don't have to tell people about this. Like, I want you to have this. Like, it's
that's because then it's a true gift.
Because then it's a gift, and you're not
So
being like,
wild.
if you're trying.
I want to go last.
If you're giving a gift, if someone gave me a gift and I felt there was an element of like wanting spectacle, I would feel a little.
Feels yucky.
I would feel a little weird about it. I also just kind of feel weird. I guess for my birthdays, I haven't done this in a long time, of like really gathering and opening the gifts in front of everyone. I
know, I thought the same thing. I was like, what is this, a baby shower?
I feel like adults, all the adults I know, it's kind of like, oh, thank you for the gift. And it's kind of like, you do that kind of separately. And I kind of like that because it doesn't make it a competition.
There's so much obligation also, like when people are watching you, I don't know how to react and seem genuine and be like, wow! Like I'm like, is it too much? Is it too little?
It's very intense.
So under a microscope.
There's the sweater curse. Okay, here, hold on. Although the existence of this effect remains uncertain, it is a common belief amongst the knitting population, and several plausible and non-exclusive mechanisms for the sweater curse have been suggested within knitting periodicals and books. Unlucky timing. Knitting a sweater takes a long time, and the relationship dies of natural causes during its making.
Catalyst causes. It's just like,
catalyst for analyzing the relationship. Giving or receiving a significant gift such as a sweater may cause either the giver or receiver to evaluate the relationship. For example, the gift may seem too intimate, too domestic, or too binding to the significant other. It can be seen as a signal that makes them realize that the relationship is not reciprocal, prompting them to end the relationship before it involves obligations. So, with the sweater curse being something we're aware of now, maybe the girlfriend giving him the sweater was such a big deal because she knows about the sweater curse. She knows this could be the determining factor of whether they stay together or not. She gives him the sweater, and then she sees him get way more excited about another gift from someone else. The sweater curse is taking effect. They're gonna break up.
I also wanna bring up like the sweater curse specifically, not to get too far, left field here, but it could be that when you receive a sweater and you see that your partner has spent a lot of time crocheting, you're like, that's a boring hobby done by boring people. And you're like, oh no, I'm kidding!
Keon over there just like, come on, man.
I just wanted to see Shane's reaction, that's it.
That is wild.
So also knowing that, I am not familiar with crocheting, but I'm assuming this took a long time to crochet a sweater. So as opposed to everyone else spent thousands of dollars on their gifts for this guy.
Don't forget, she got him the book too.
That's a $1,000 book.
Yeah, but she spent a lot of time on this.
Yeah.
I'm assuming days worth of time. Months worth of time.
Yeah, and also like to get that measurement right, I can't imagine because
she had to look at pictures of his armpits. To figure that out.
That's what it is!
Other comments here. Not the asshole. You weren't thinking of how to hurt her. You just wanted a nice gift for your friend. Your boyfriend is right. You don't need to apologize for her insecurities. Someone else said, I think yes.
Okay.
Someone said, I think yes, you are a bit the asshole, especially since you specifically wanted it to be opened last because you assumed your gift would be the best. That hubris alone icks me out. But honestly, the birthday boy is the biggest asshole here, as he said that it was the best gift he's ever received in front of his girlfriend, who gave him a handmade gift, and who knows how many other gifts she's given him. That's true. You're the asshole if at a party you say this is the best gift ever. Don't say that shit.
At a party, you're already making people sit and watch you open $1,000 gifts.
It's real.
Bruh.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm just like, this just isn't my crowd.
Not at all.
Just not my crowd.
I will say, I had an ex one time give me like a needlepoint Triforce that she made, and I still have it because I'm just like, it was so I realized the amount of time she put into it, and it's one of my favorite gifts.
That stuff
and
is
I'm
great.
like, that stuff is supposed to matter. So if you are looking at a material good, being like, this is way better than that, like he is the asshole.
Someone said, I'd say no one's the asshole. Both POVs are valid. She was right to make the gift, and the girlfriend had valid reasons to be upset, not being in the position financially to make a similar gift, feeling outshined. OP, next time you find something special and expensive, team up with the girlfriend and make a shared gift. That's the way to become a bridesmaid instead of being barred from the wedding. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I think my feeling about this story is that the intentions and even a lot of the end results aren't the problem. It's how people went about a lot of it that I'm like, this could have all happened exactly the same, but y'all could have done it a little better.
And you know what? He f***ed up because now he can't wear that watch without hurting his girlfriend's feelings.
You are so right.
If I saw that watch, I'm gonna be like.
And even if it's July and it's 90 degrees out, he needs to wear that sweater.
He needs to wear that
sweater,
and he better read that book the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, you're so right. Well, there's no way they're still together at this point.
There's no way. All right, next story here. Am I the asshole for not telling my partner that I'm actually a twin and switching places with my twin during our date? Awesome.
This
That's so funny.
this is a David Cronenberg movie.
Yeah, this is a psychological thriller.
What?
I've been dating my girlfriend for 6 months.
I gotta go.
This is a 17-year-old boy with an 18-year-old girl. I've been dating my girlfriend for 6 months, and everything's been going well. I'm actually a twin, and I've been switching places with my twin during our dates. It started as a prank. My twin brother and I have always had a good time messing with people since we were young, and I thought it would be funny to see if my girlfriend would notice if we swapped places during a movie date. To my surprise, she didn't even notice. At this point, she didn't know I had a twin, and we thought it was hilarious. After this first time, I told her, and we both laughed about it. About a month later, my brother dared me to do it again, and we did. This time we switched.
Oh, the brother dared him? Right? The brother's like, bro, how funny would it be if I got to
like, dude,
kiss Samantha?
What if we switched at the movie?
He just wanted to see the movie. Can you imagine?
About a month later, my brother dared me to do it again, and we did. This time when we switched, she wanted to have some PDA, sitting on laps, snuggling, etc. My brother, of course, didn't want to do it, so he told her no and admitted that me and him switched. She looked at him in disbelief and asked if he was serious. He nodded and explained that we had switched places as a prank. My girlfriend was initially confused and didn't know how to react. She left pretty quickly, according to him. When I found out what happened, I immediately apologized to my girlfriend and explained that honestly, I was just joking since we had shared a laugh about it last time. I told her that I loved her and that I would do anything to make it up to her. Things took a turn for the worse when she started accusing me of switching with him on our other dates. I didn't. Now she's told all her friends I'm a manipulator, liar, and sent my brother to spend quality time with her so I didn't have to. Obviously, I understand why she's mad. Something that seemed funny to me obviously hurt her, but I feel like she majorly overreacted by basically breaking up with me. Basically.
Basically? Wait, he basically broke up with her because now she's dating the twin.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't know what to say about this one too. This one's just crazy.
This one's just like, bro, you crossed the line. You crossed the line so quickly and like so fully.
I'm just kind of like, I think I would never agree to that because I'd be like, yeah, no, I don't want to send my brother in there and she might try to make out with him.
Yeah. What's crazy is this went horribly wrong, but in the best way possible because she went, oh, you just don't want to spend time with me, instead of, oh, these two guys are creeps. Everyone in the school, these are the creepiest people in the world.
So true.
Like, don't go near them. Like, you are, like, the fire's in your hand.
He got off easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should.
Because that's, like, criminal.
Also, thankfully, the brother was shitty to dare it, but also thank God the brother was like, I'm not doing anything. Like, thank God. Because this could have been so much worse. Some comments. If I were her, I'd be frantically thinking back to all the other dates I'd spent with my partner and thinking about any intimacy I'd had and worrying that it had been with the wrong person. Manipulation, deception, they're sharing her without consent. Even if she laughed the first time, it shouldn't have been done the first time. Someone else said, yeah, you're the asshole. This is something I would personally break up with you over. So glad she's sticking up for herself. It would mentally destroy you.
Yeah.
It
retroactively ruins, what, 6, 7 months? What did she say? What did they say?
6 months. No, you would be questioning everything.
Which is years in high school years.
Yeah, that's a long time. And I think I would be, I don't know if it would come out as upset, but if someone even pulled that type of prank, even with a non-romantic thing, of just like, haha, this has actually been a twin that you've been talking to, I'd be like, oh, and then I would just be kind of like messed up from it, and I'd be like, that's weird. That's definitely weird.
Mm-hmm. What's weird about this is that it makes me feel like we're in like 1870. I don't know if any of you know this, but like a lot of times families, if there was like a family and a husband died, if there was a brother or another family, like they would continue on.
They would just literally.
They would either remarry the wife or they'd still blend the family. So like, I don't know what energy's happening here, but I feel like I'm in a homestead and it's 1872. Like, this is weird. Someone died from the plague.
Yeah, homestead energy.
All right, let's move on. This next one is interesting sounding. Am I the asshole for asking my ex-boyfriend to be my best man? Ex-boyfriend's in quotations, so I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Near the end of the year, I'm a 27-year-old male going to be marrying the love of my life, a 30-year-old woman. We have been together for 4 years now, and since I popped the question, we've been busy planning. One of the first things we decided was our bridal party. We both already knew exactly who we were going to ask, and we had no issues with each other's choices, at least at the beginning. My fiance recently found out that I used to date my best man, who's a 26-year-old man, and is furious. I never told her he was my ex and that I had not only invited him, but also wanted him in the bridal party. The thing is, I never purposefully hid the fact that we used to date from her. I just genuinely forgot.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
We had been friends for years, and we got on so well, we decided to give it a try, and it just wasn't meant to be. We were together for less than a month, and it wasn't really that different from how we were being friends, except we made out and had sex sometimes. It was like the same. I have to actively be reminded of it, and as it's not something I think about. When I look at him, I don't see an ex. I see my best friend of over 10 years. He was my friend for years before we dated and years after. I don't think it classes him as an ex, and I don't think it should mean he's excluded from my wedding. But my fiance is adamant that it's disrespectful to her, that it's her wedding, so she should get a say. I don't want to exclude him, but if I knew she would react like this, I might have just invited him as a guest. So am I the asshole? Edit to add, because I've had this question pop up a few times. Me and my best friend were 16, 15 when we dated. Okay, I think I've caused some confusion by using the word forgot.
Yeah.
It's not like it completely left my mind.
Yeah.
It's just something I don't think about or crosses my mind without being reminded about it. And when I was reminded about it, I didn't see it as that significant. I now see that even if I didn't see it as significant, I should have still told my girlfriend. So yeah, like a handful of times a year, it would be brought up as a joke by friends while I'm out with them, but that's really it. Okay. Yeah, I forgot.
I forgot we had sex sometimes.
But there's people in my life that I have hooked up with for like we tried it for like a couple weeks, and I don't think about them. Like, it was so long ago that I don't that doesn't even cross my mind.
For context, it was
20 years.
It was 10 years prior.
It was 10 years.
10 years.
Still a long time.
That's still a long time, and they were in high school. Like, yeah, that changes my perspective a little bit. I do think it's strange that it wasn't brought up at any point.
It sounds like they were friends, so 15 or 16, if he's 27.
Yes.
So like they started dating very early on, like a couple years into their friendship. And then that's a lot of years after that things have stayed like kosher, I'd say. But best man, I can understand why the bride-to-be would be like, this guy that you hooked up with, that you're making your best man. Like, it might make them a little uncomfortable without knowing every single detail. Like, I have a guy friend from high school. We were best friends, and we dated for a month, and it just didn't work. Yeah. And we're both like in our own lives. Like, I would invite him to my wedding, but not. I mean, obviously we weren't like close still, but it just I just don't see that as. Like, I don't know, but 10 years of friendship is a long time.
It's a long time.
And it sounds like this is his best friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, that person that I dated and whatever, but like, this is like his best friend.
And less than a month.
The issue is that she didn't know about this at all.
Yeah, it's important to, like, when there are people in your life that you had a history with and you're with a partner, like, your partner should know, you know, they should have context.
Yeah.
So we have some comments here. Okay. You're the asshole. You don't forget about a romantic relationship with your best friend of 10 years. If it was a one-night stand with a stranger, sure, I can see that slipping the mind. Your fiance isn't buying your excuse, and neither are we. Someone else said, you're the asshole for not disclosing that you have a romantic history with your best friend. Had you been honest from the get-go, this likely would not have been a problem. From her perspective, you've lied by omission for years, and she's finding out only shortly before your wedding. Someone else said...
I just want to say there's 10 years of memories in between that. 10 years of things, fights, exes, other things, other relationships, other friendships. 10 years, that's so long.
Last person said, still the fact that you never thought to tell her until now is probably shady to her.
Yeah.
Why keep it a secret if it isn't a big deal? OP responded, it genuinely just never crossed my mind. It's never come up while she's been around. The most it's brought up is as a joke between me and my best friend when we are alone, and I forgot about it by the time I get home. I never meant to keep it a secret from her, but I still should have set a reminder when it came up with my friend to tell her. I admit I f***ed up here.
It's
weird that it's a joke. I think it's weird that it's a joke between the two of them that they talk about.
Because it sounds like it was experimentation.
So, because if you look at the time span, they've been friends for 10 years. So they were friends around 6 years when he started dating his fiance. So it's not quite as long of history, but like it is. I think it's really weird. Like friends know, they're joking about it, and so I think it's really weird that it slipped his mind to tell her, and that he needed to set a reminder to tell her next time that a joke about it happened.
Also, when did how did she figure it out? He told her.
Let's see. My fiance. He just says my fiance recently found out that I used to date my best friend.
That sounds like he didn't
and
tell
is
her.
furious. I guess is another element here that early on in their dating, because they've been dating for 4 years, so he was 23 when he started dating her. Is there an element of maybe he was afraid to tell her that?
Of course.
Yeah. And so after a couple of years, then it's like, oh.
Yeah, so you think he's in denial?
No, I don't think he's in denial. I think early on in the relationship, he was afraid to be like, oh, and by the way, I hooked up with, I dated my best friend. Yeah. In the comments, OP identifies as bisexual, and she has always known that from the start. So never mind. Like, I didn't know if maybe he was hiding that, but no. So she knew. That's tough. Yeah, I don't know what they do at this point.
No updates? No
updates.
Yeah. I think you disclose all past relationships, especially if those people are still in your life. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're going to marry that person. I mean, I feel very strongly that you should, if you guys are willing to marry each other, all these kinds of conversations need to have already been had.
Yeah.
Just like you guys need to already have had those conversations.
Yeah. Anything that should have been under contention. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
But friendship is, yeah.
That's tough. That's really tough. All right, we'll move it on.
All right.
Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend her home decor is the reason I won't host a work gathering at her place? It's a 32-year-old man. I've been with my girlfriend, who's 29, for over a year now. She's smart, funny, a bit quirky, and has a serious job with a good salary. We have a great time together and generally get along very well. The only thing is her choice in home decor is bizarre, to put it frankly, and not something you'd think a normal, grown adult would be into. Her apartment is definitely a reflection of herself and interests. Not in the best way, though. My girlfriend has a wall dedicated to animation in one room of her apartment, like Futurama pieces and etchings of some weird triangle guy. Then there's the wall of framed preserved insects in another room, but not insects like butterflies or moths. Instead, she displays tarantulas, beetles, and large stick insects. Her bathroom has a subtle theme of the ocean, pretty common. But instead of starfish or shells, she has a little anglerfish nightlight, a small vampiric squid painting, and then a framed diagram of what apparently is a goblin shark right by the toilet. I would say a majority of her home decor and furnishings are okay. The apartment itself is very modern and sleek. It's just the random decor and juvenile-ish themes like cartoons, insects, and bizarre ocean creatures is off-putting. This is where I might be the asshole. I avoid bringing people over to her place, especially people from my job, because of how juvenile it looks. Everyone's impressed when they see the high-rise, but that quickly fades once you enter. The one time I brought a work colleague over, they ended up telling me after that they found her insect wall terrifying. I work in finance, and appearances and first impressions are important.
Finance, bro.
My office will hold casual gatherings where we get together for a few drinks, good food, and we rotate hosts. And this time, it's my turn. The problem is my place is under some construction and not an ideal place to be right now. So I've been staying with my girlfriend. My girlfriend suggested that we host my colleagues here since she has the space and thinks it'd be fun. I told her I planned on skipping my rotation and seeing if the next person would be okay with hosting early. She kept pressing on why I didn't want them to be over here, so I finally said it's because her home decor is strange and not something a grown woman would have, and also that her insect wall horrified the one colleague that did come over. My girlfriend got mad and said at the end of the day, it's not my space and these things bring her joy. She also said that she indeed is an adult woman, which is exactly why her apartment is decorated in such a manner. I love my girlfriend, I do, and it's okay to have different interests, but does an adult really need to decorate with them besides a few things here and there? I mean, my own mother asked if my girlfriend was autistic after she saw the entire apartment for the first time. So Reddit, am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend her home decor is the reason I won't host a work gathering at her place?
Dump his ass!
Yeah, I think, if I may, my first impression here is I think the issue is that she has a personality and he doesn't.
Yeah!
Neither does his
Shane, he
friend.
works in finance.
That's such a Ah!
I already know exactly what he looks like, which is he's just Schmidt from New Girl. Like he looks exactly like that,
but worse.
But worse.
Gosh, I was only laughing in the beginning because it was so funny to me how specific he was roasting her decoration. He's like, and then there's a starfish in the corner, and I thought it was very funny. And then it just gets worse.
I'm laughing because that's my space. 100%. I have a bunch of animation cells, which I have yet to hang up, but I'm going to.
Didn't you just get a new thing that's like an insect or something?
Yeah, so I don't have actual taxidermied insects because that's not my thing, but I ended up getting off of Etsy, oh God,
It's a taxidermied Butterfree.
It's a taxidermied Butterfree. It's a Pokemon, but I wanted to say their name. It's something Oddities. Overcast Oddities. Yeah, they do like shout out. They do Pokemon like taxidermy, and I'm like, well, that I can get behind. So I have the animation. I have the Pokemon taxidermy, and then in the bathroom, I'm going to do basically that kind of like oceany theme, maybe a little bit of Cthulhu, and I'm like, I'm an adult. I'm older than that person. Like,
sure. I mean, I'm not going to bring my work friends to your place.
Good, you're not invited.
I'm not gonna bring my finance bros over.
Yeah, so yeah, I know I work at Smosh, but I'm also not gonna bring my finance friends over to your apartment.
I mean, it's whatever, open invitation. I'll text you my address. You can figure it out.
You know, it's tough because he points out like these things are for kids, like insects. Like whenever I'm walking around a park and I see an insect, I'm like, sorry, dude, that's for kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at you. Sorry, I don't look at bugs. Whenever I see a bug, I gotta walk the other way.
Oh my God, get the spider out! It's for kids.
If I'm at the beach and I see a starfish, I'm like, I gotta walk the other way. That's for kids.
You know, I'm an adult. I can't be here at the beach.
I can't. Sorry, the ocean. That's for kids.
Yeah. Dude, there's a black widow on your face. Don't worry about it. Those are for kids.
Those are for kids.
It'll
I'm an
plop right
adult.
off.
Not gonna worry about it.
Here's the thing too. Let's address the autism line. Autism is not a bad thing. It is A, a spectrum and presents in a lot of different ways, and B, like, you don't have to be autistic to have a hyperfixation, but a lot of people who are autistic do have specific special interests, and that's awesome. And I think we're living in a time where there's no like right way to be grown up anymore. Like a lot of the adults grew up with video games. Like we don't want to stop doing all these fun things. If we have adult money and we want to use it on something, it's not like, oh, a new toaster. It's like, no, I want to buy this cool framed thing that I like from a show I like. Like, this just shows that this person is not right for that girl. It's just, it's the wrong match. He probably thinks she's cute and quirky and makes it like a, I don't know.
Absolutely. No, I mean, in my opinion, you know, he needs to check in with how he's talking about his girlfriend here. I mean, it's super derogatory. And I mean, in his mind, this is all abnormal when it's like, there's no normal way to decorate your home. You're allowed to do it however you want. But this is part of who she is. When you're dating someone and you're with someone and how they decorate their home, that to me is like, that's huge. And that's not something I would ever try to change. Or if I am not okay with it and I'm not okay with bringing friends over, I'd be like, then I can't do this.
This is so interesting,
that's huge.
I don't know, because I think sometimes it's the other way. For, I don't know, like not to gender it, but I do think a lot of girls will be like, oh, there's posters in this room. He's a kid. And like, but there's a difference between like posters and like framed posters.
Yeah.
And like maybe like an age college to adulthood thing. But I think if what he's upset about is the context of the art. It's not how the art is hung.
You're right.
That's what I mean. Her
like,
actual interest.
It's
the organization, the cleanliness, the presentation.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the adult thing, right? Of like how you organize your space, like how you do that. But your interests and the aesthetic.
Yeah,
is
he's
part
just
of who
roasting
you
what
are.
she likes.
Yeah, and
That's
also
what it is.
it's not things that I think are. But I also, you know, being in the YouTube world, I feel like more people I know have places like this than not.
Look at our little plane.
We're so quirky. I mean,
it's a plane for too much for kids.
But no, sincerely, more people I know are collectors of various sorts. I mean, most of my adult friends have like Lego sets and stuff in their homes on display.
Legos,
and I mean, that's more normal than not amongst people I know. And these are very adult people who work very hard, who like are every adult category they're marking off, but you're allowed to have interests, and that's part of being adult is you're allowed to have whatever you want now if you earn it. Like
maybe I'm unlikable, but what about your construction, dude? I think he's lying.
Oh, you're into Bob the Builder? You fucking loser.
Bob the Builder. I don't know. He's an asshole.
He's an asshole. This is also like an example of, I don't know, like a lot of my space is decorated in like a spooky way. I collect like older antique things. Sometimes I restore old furniture that I find. But like other people, if they super want like a modern vibe, that's okay too. But it sounds like this person is obsessed with like, for lack of a better term, like the normie paradigm of things to do. Like, nope, everything's got to be perfect and modern. It looks like it comes from IKEA, and if it's not, then you're just a baby.
Yeah. Also, there's a difference between like childish and childlike, right? Like when someone like can do, I think you could put something up that may be childlike or like just like Legos. But then if she was acting childish and that was embarrassing to him, maybe I could get behind that. Like if the apartment was taken care of like a child and there wasn't like, and she wasn't cleaning or something.
But it's not even childish. It's Futurama.
Right.
Like that's one of the best shows ever made.
And it's pretty adult.
It's definitely pretty adult. My way of decorating my own space, I'm very minimalist and stuff, but like I love seeing really cool, unique ways that people decorate their homes.
Yeah.
Also, last thing I want to add.
Pokemon shirt. Just saying, I'm 32.
That means it's fucking sick.
Thanks. That's what I was looking for.
But I want to also point out, he talks about like, this is where we gather to have a couple drinks, and this place is way too crazy for us. I'm like, have you not been to a bar?
I know.
Bars have crazy themes.
Yeah.
That's the whole
You
point.
freaking idiot.
With snowshoes on the wall.
This doesn't make sense to me. I've been to so many weird bars with literally
That's
like
so true.
crazy aesthetics and stuff. That's the point. People pay so much money to get reservations at like weird places like that.
Yes, bro probably walks into TGI Fridays thinking it's a daycare.
Okay, some comments here. I hate people who gatekeep adulthood. They're stuffy and boring and have no sense of whimsy. Why do people have to give up the stuff they enjoy just because they reach an arbitrary age that makes them an adult? That's bullshit. Love what you love and celebrate it until the day you die. And the triangle dude is almost certainly Bill Cipher.
Yep, it's Bill from Gravity Falls. Thank you.
Someone else said, you're the asshole, your girlfriend sounds rad. If I walked into a coworker's house like that, my respect level for them would go way up. Just let people be interested in things. Lastly, not the asshole for not wanting to host there because it's not your place, but you're the asshole for making your girlfriend feel bad for being who she is in her own place.
Yeah, it would be fair if the boyfriend was like, hey, I'm going to skip my rotation because I'm very excited to show off my place to my colleagues. That's what I'm looking for. But it is coming from a place of embarrassment about his girlfriend.
Yeah,
and I do want to come back to that last line real quick. Like, for anyone who doesn't know me, I am on the autism spectrum in some capacity, and I've got all sorts of other letters that describe my brain. So the fact that he's like, man, my mom even said it like this. It's like, dude, maybe she is. But the fact that you view that as a bad thing means that anything about her mental health is always going to have to be hidden from you and something you will be ashamed of. When she's a quirky, like 60-year-old and you're together and she's like, I want to put out this fun bird feeder, you're going to be like, oh, geez.
Yeah, like, my guy, just go to Airbnb, get a little museum for your wine and your friends and go home.
Yeah. Next story here. Am I the asshole for exposing a girl in my class about her fake seizures?
Wow.
That's the most high school title I've heard, I feel like.
What?
Kinda funny.
That is. I'm excited.
I'm a 16-year-old boy interested in medicine, and my dad is a doctor too, so I have a bit of a good background. On the other hand, one of my classmates, let's call her Sarah, she's irresponsible and tries to throw all the hard work to others by lying and saying that she's sick and her seizures are not controlled, etc. Today we had a task-based subject where students are required to work together to solve certain questions. Sarah was on my team, and when I told her to solve Q4 through Q15, she suddenly started convulsing, and I knew it was a psychogenic one, and she's making it up because her eyes were closed. Also, her movements weren't synchronous. I tried to open her eyes during the seizure, and she was closing them forcefully. After a couple minutes,
Fucking Doogie Howser over here.
Yeah, dude.
after a couple minutes, she woke up, and I told everyone in the class that it's not a real seizure, and she's doing it for attention and escaping the dirty work. Also, I elaborated to everyone why it's not a real one based on the previous symptoms. That's god dang.
This is the good doctor.
Yeah.
Dude, he's really the good doctor.
It's
Holy
the
shit.
good doctor.
Young Sheldon, can you shut the fuck up?
Plus, when she woke up, she got pissed about the fact I tried to open her eyes, and I told her that also proves my point, because in real seizure, her consciousness would be impaired, and she wouldn't know what I did. A couple of my friends stood by my side for exposing her. Some told me I'm an asshole for saying she's faking it without apparent evidence. That is... I will say, just reading a story on Reddit, this story is very funny.
It's hilarious.
If I witnessed
That's so funny.
if I witnessed this in high school, I'd probably feel very different.
Oh, I'd be like,
yeah.
this was terrible.
That was awful. This was horrifying. I don't think I would ever, in my life, see someone. Yeah, it's like it's not something you question. It's not something you need to question
Guilty as
in the
charged.
moment. In the moment, or like I guess because maybe if later on in the cafeteria people are talking, or if he comes up to her and he's just like, hey, I don't.
Trying to debunk a
But
seizure
trying to
mid-seizure.
Okay, yeah,
That's
mid-seizure.
insane.
He's trying to. She's having a seizure on the ground, and he's like, "Come here, open your eyes."
I don't know if you've ever seen.
Look at me.
Dude, if you've ever seen someone who's gone into a seizure or somebody passes out and you think it might be a seizure, bro, your first instinct is to grab their tongue. So like that's where I am. Where like if I saw that in class. Like trying to open the eyes, obviously he's like trying to prove she's not having a seizure.
Yeah.
My first instinct is I need to get my hand around your tongue so you don't choke. And then I would know immediately that you're faking your seizure. You get what I'm saying?
I don't think that's a real thing.
That's not a real thing?
No, it is frequently.
That's like an epileptic seizure thing.
It's like a wives' tale.
That's a wives' tale?
Yeah.
That's a wives'
But
tale?
what I have heard you do
I've
is
assaulted someone.
you try to hold their what I have heard that you're supposed to do, and I'm not a doctor, but I believe you are supposed to try to support their head so they're not hitting their head.
Can, yeah.
Okay.
You want to stabilize their head so they don't hit their head.
Right.
Oh, okay.
right.
You know, I probably saw a movie when I was 9.
No,
and I was like,
it's so frequently, and like even
I'd heard that a bunch.
I've second guessed myself and been like, oh, maybe like you actually can, but like
But it's head support?
it's like
Okay.
Make sure they don't fall and like
Okay.
get a head injury.
Yeah, that's good to know. See, that's like, you should be in 2nd grade and they should be like, by the way, if any of your students in your class behave like this.
Yeah. I wonder what would have happened if he instead went to his dad and said like, hey, I think she's faking seizures.
That's probably
I feel like
what
the
to
dad
do.
would have been like, don't try to disprove it.
I love the
she's
angle.
having a seizure.
I love the angle that he's like this 16-year-old interested in medicine, like that fucking has any like real bearing on.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's like yeah, I've read
he's
some books.
16.
He's so chosen.
Yeah.
He's so chosen.
Yeah,
He's
because
like,
she's not doing the work. Like
You don't
he
understand.
feels he's in this position of authority to make sure that she's doing Q14 through 15. So like
Yeah.
he's already like,
He's worried about those cues.
dude, he's
man.
got the hall monitor badge on.
Yeah.
Like he is.
Yeah, this kid's a fucking narc.
Dude, he is a narc.
It's like it's one of those things where I'm like, I get it. You have to do her work, or you need to do these things, but it's like, dude, just it doesn't matter that much, man. Like,
I'm gonna be
Keep
honest.
that shit to yourself, man.
That's what it is. I don't think you're an asshole. I think you're just kind of a loser.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of a loser, bro. You're not. She's the asshole. She's faking a real thing. Like if she's faking it,
a real
I'm
thing.
gonna say
If
right
she's
now,
faking it,
if
she-
she's faking it, she's a vile person.
Oh,
right?
totally.
That's bottom of the barrel. But you should keep your mouth shut.
I have heard from people I know, nobody who works at Smosh, but I've had friends who talked about at some point in school, elementary or high school, faking crazy shit. I have heard about it. There was someone I knew who talked about that he would just like close his, like essentially fake faint and just stay and just not react or open his eyes until they literally took him to the nurse's office. And stuff.
I had a.
And it's just like, some people just, and it's just like, there's also maybe sometimes it's like, maybe there is something going on.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It's
like,
not that. You might have something else.
you think you're faking something. Maybe there's something going on. Like,
and everyone else sees it.
Yeah.
My friend, she pretended to not hear her stepmom for like an entire summer.
That's fucking
And,
awesome.
and they took her to the doctor because they were like, my daughter's deaf, and they're like, no.
Wow.
Actually, her hearing is super
Yeah.
good.
Watch right now. She looked. She was.
We have comments here. You can have seizures while consciousness is still intact. Everyone's seizures are different, and there are several different types of seizures. What an ass. Source, I have epilepsy. Someone said, actually, my cousin's fish is a doctor, and I watched a couple of episodes of Grey's Anatomy. So as an expert, I want to tell you that you actually don't have epilepsy. Sorry.
That's funny.
Someone said he literally led with, my dad's a doctor. I have a background. Son, sit the fuck down. You're not a doctor because your daddy went to school. If he's any kind of father worth his salt, he'll tell Sonny Boy to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up and let medical professionals handle the situation. I hope hell comes down on this idiot's head for touching someone during a medical emergency. Fucking tried to open her eyes. Opie's a piece of shit and someone needs to get him under control. Yeah, I'm just such a firm believer of like TikTok and like on the internet, you see so much medical stuff and you'll be like, oh, I know these medical things. But like in any emergency situation, it's like, are you a doctor? No. Then you don't know anything. That's my take. Unless I'm alone in the woods with someone who's having an emergency, I'm like, now I am the only expertise around, and it's bad, but I'm the only one. But if you're in a classroom or a plane or any sort of place where there's other people, just lay off. You don't know. Like, that's crazy, especially to be skeptical of it. Like,
that's what's really funny. Like, this
I love,
dude.
my dad is a doctor.
I would kill to see a picture of this kid.
We know. We already know.
Hold on. I'm a 16-year-old interested in medicine. And my dad is a doctor too, so I have a bit of a good background. Like, that's really what it is.
I know a thing or two.
This is a 27-year-old man dating a 24-year-old woman that still sleeps with her ex. Okay, this comes from our relationship advice. I'm dating a girl and we have had sex multiple times. We have been dating for 1 month now, and a few days ago she said she wants to try dating without sex just so she can see how the chemistry is between us, and I complied. She seems like an honest gal. She wants to meet other people, and that's normal. So yesterday I was FaceTiming her and found out that she still sees her ex and has sex with him. I don't know how many times because I just didn't care to ask. I also don't have any feelings for her because of the length of the relationship. But this got me thinking afterwards, maybe I'm a rebound? They broke up 9 months ago and she told me she had sex with 10 guys during this period, including me. I mean, this is a red flag, right? I don't want her to be her rebound on her, or her safety net or her emotional tampon. I was thinking maybe I should just ghost her and meet a new gal.
It was like a
right.
There was one thing he said that like dipped the toe into weird, and
1-2
then just
punch.
a dive.
Yeah, that's the end of the story.
What? I have an opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems weird. Okay, so if I am exploring the reality that he's saying some weird shit, but it might, like she might be being dishonest, where she's dating this guy, she's sleeping with her ex, doesn't want to have sex with this current guy to see if the emotions are there. Maybe she's sleeping with her ex still and he's like, don't have sex with other people. I don't know. My brain went down a weird path. But also, did you hear him say, I don't have feelings for her?
Yeah, I heard
that's
that.
weird.
After 1 month in. And the other thing is, he's 37 and she's 24.
No, they're 27 and 24.
27
So
and
still
24.
pretty-
Yeah, that's huge.
I was like,
I do think, look, if you're dating someone for a month and they're like, oh, I'm still sleeping with my ex, it's like, this probably is not like gonna go anywhere.
No.
But you have to accept that. But that doesn't, so it sounds like if he doesn't want to be a rebound, he doesn't want to be just a side thing, like then yeah, he should move on. Right? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
yeah, it sounds like, yes,
Yeah.
you are exactly what you think you are.
It's been a month. It's not even worth a Reddit post, dude.
You don't have feelings for her. What are you?
Just move
and
on.
You're not having sex with her, so.
Don't make Reddit your emotional tampon.
Some comments here. She wants her ex's cock and you for the boyfriend stuff. Those red flags aren't a circus, dude.
Oh God, I hate Reddit so much.
Yeah, that's awful.
Oh God, this is how they talk to each other on there.
I wish I could like Scooby-Doo these people. You know what I mean?
Like take the mask
Take that mask off. You're not anonymous anymore, bitch.
Someone said, you're in a friends with benefits relationship without the benefits. You're just a friend, but one that has to treat her like a girlfriend. Okay, we don't know the details of like what they are doing. We just know like that they're going on dates.
Also, he agreed to this.
Look, right. I mean, those comments are, I mean, look.
It sounds very complicated and not worth anybody's time after a month of dating.
I think ultimately the answer is like, yeah, don't go to Reddit, just leave.
Yeah.
We have some updates here. What? One of you throws up. I'm just gonna end this. Just gonna tell her this was not what I had in mind when we met. Good luck. I was never really into her anyways, and I'm already talking to another chick.
Liar.
I've used rubber, but I'm gonna check myself before I'm meeting someone new just to be sure.
You should do that anyway, my guy.
Sure, do that anyway.
She just said she does not have any feelings for her ex, blah, blah, blah. I replied with, if you have sex with your ex, then there is a spark between you two. That's fine by me, but that's a red flag for me, and I have to back away. Good luck. Okay. And then the last update. Got a lot of messages asking for another update, so here it is. This gal called me and was very upset, saying she still liked me and did not want to end things between us. She said she really is over her ex and she will stop having any form of contact with him. I said it does not matter, I'm just not going to risk it. I have to prioritize myself first and I can't risk going any deeper into this situationship. Thank you for all your answers.
Oh God. Like, okay, I think he's like kind of self-soothing with like, I didn't even like her anyways. I'm actually talking to somebody else. But like, I think it's almost like an everyone sucks here situation because she's doing what she did to her ex by saying, wait, no, please. Like, so she needs to go work on herself too. Like they are both floating in space and they just bumped into each other a couple times. They need to keep floating in space.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like, this does not need all this complication.
No, and Reddit, dude, did not need to get involved.
So I don't like the verbiage he used.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird verbiage.
Someone commented.
On Reddit a lot.
Yeah.
Someone commented, I was going to say you seem like a cool dude and should just gracefully leave, but then that ridiculous edit. I didn't like her anyways, and I'm already f***ing someone new. For fuck's sake, you're 27, not 17. Act accordingly. Woo. Yeah, I agree with that. It's a whole lot. It's just a whole lot going on. Am I the asshole for not keeping my thoughts on my sister's ridiculous baby names, Stanford and Yale, to myself?
I was like, yeah, no.
Oh,
we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'm the youngest of 3 siblings. There's me, 34-year-old male, my sister Katie, 35, and my brother Ian, 38.
Ian?
What a loser name. Out of the 3 of us, Katie is the one who made it. Her words. She attended Yale Law School and is engaged to a neurosurgeon, Daniel, who attended Stanford Medical School. Over the years, it's become clear that Katie looks down on me and Ian because we aren't as ambitious, successful, credentialed as she is. Katie has expressed her astonishment that the family business is profitable, even though someone who got C's in high school and never went to college, aka me, has been running the day-to-day operations for 10+ years. Katie also once told Ian to his face that he wasted his potential. Context, Ian was the valedictorian of his high school class, just like Katie, by dropping out of college to help mom run the family business after dad passed away. Katie and Daniel recently posted that Katie is pregnant with twin boys, and their names would be Stanford and Yale. I commented, congratulations, but later I texted her to say that it wasn't right to give the boys ridiculous names that would put them under immense pressure to succeed from a very young age. I also asked her about what would happen if one or both of them weren't as successful, perfect as she hoped. Katie didn't like the points that I made. She texted back, I wasn't asking for opinions, especially from someone like you. Consider yourself uninvited from our wedding until you sincerely apologize. To be honest, I was already leaning towards not attending due to Katie's condescending attitude towards me, but the someone like you comment sealed the deal. I told Ian what happened, but he said that I should have kept my thoughts to myself. Oh, I mean, look, I've been through elementary and middle school. She's not wrong. Being named Stanford or Yale is, other people are gonna be harsh. Like, look, school is ruthless, and being named Yale.
Stanford isn't
Stanford,
the craziest
because you can go by
name.
Stan.
You go by Stan, and like, but Yale is interesting, and like, also the fact that it's coming from like, oh, well, I went to Ivy League, and everyone needs to know it. Like, I will say this though, the names, they suck. They are the least of those children's problems. Mm-hmm. They're growing up with that mom.
That mom is awful.
Oh, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
They're both gonna be such burnouts, and I understand it.
She's going to make their life a living hell. The names, yeah, you're right. The names don't matter. She is going to pressure them so badly.
They're gonna wish their names were Gap and Year.
Nice!
I don't deserve this.
This is for me now. Thank you.
Wow.
Damn,
That's
dude.
a bummer. That sucks. Condescending people like that are really awful.
It's disgusting.
It really is disgusting.
I do think, though, it's a little disgusting for the brother to be like, you're naming your kids ridiculous names. But maybe, no, I think
the problem is they clearly hate this sister.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Clearly she's been such an asshole to them for so long that they just don't. They're so burned out with her.
Yeah, I just wish someone would actually tell her, like, hey, from a non-judgmental perspective, I think this might add pressure to the kids. Instead of just being like, you're stupid, what a dumb idea.
Yeah.
It definitely could have been handled better, and I do also think that the brother is probably like, again, maybe I'm looking into this too much, but when the brother is like, you could have kept your thoughts to yourself. If the brother is the type to drop out of college after being valedictorian to go help the mother after the dad passed, there's a lot of responsibility there. They're the peacekeeper. They're the ones that keep the family afloat. So if there's fighting, it's just going to be like, you know how she is. You shouldn't have said anything. So
that's true.
Who knows how they really feel?
She did say, all she said was, I texted her to say that it wasn't right to give the boys ridiculous, well, maybe she said ridiculous.
It's not right is a pretty...
That would put them under immense pressure to succeed from a very young age. Yeah, it just sounds like they just don't like each other already.
Yeah.
And they're looking for, and if it's that quick that you can be uninvited to everything.
I can't believe she named her kids Princeton and Yale.
Stanford
and Yale, my bad.
Princeton is also better than
Same
Yale.
Shit.
Like Stanford and Princeton would have been fine.
Too?
I don't
Yeah, they're twins.
Yeah.
God, what a bad
that's
look.
Rough. That's rough.
That's like naming a kid singer and dancer or something.
Some comments here. I feel like these names are going to make it harder to get into a top-tier school. Does Harvard want to admit a child called Yale? Does Stanford want to admit a child called Stanford?
Wow.
It's a good point.
That's a great point.
Or maybe they really want to because it's like, dude, Yale is so good. We have a kid named Stanford. They didn't go to Stanford. They came here. I think it'd be really funny if one of them goes to ASU.
Oh yeah.
You got to name the kid ASU, honestly.
Your kid? What's their name? Arizona State University Online.
And DeVry.
And that's my real name. DeVry. Phoenix University.
University Technical Institute. I also think, like, look, there's a lot of bad names out there. And, like, I think it's wrong in general to set someone up with a name that, like, really puts them in a specific box. Like, this isn't as bad of one at all, because I think it's a really cool name, but I know, like, Magnus was a popular name for a while. I'm like, that kid better be 6'8" as a linebacker, because if they're, like, kind of small and nerdy, I'm like, Magnus is gonna get their shit rocked every day. Like, you better fucking...
That sucks, man.
I will also say, I hear about people getting bullied for their names, but growing up, I don't know, I don't know. Yeah.
Like, I think we are in a better age where people own who they are when they have become of a certain age and they can do what they want.
Yeah.
But poor Princeton and Yale, Stanford and Yale. See, I can't even remember.
Yeah, it's not even like, they don't even flow off the tongue. Like, Stanford and Yale don't go together. Like, Stanford and Princeton, like, both two-syllable, both sound fancy, but Yale, like, if your name is Yale and your sibling is not right there with you, it's gonna be like, sorry, did you say... What was your name one more time? They're gonna be like, yeah. Like, they're never gonna not have to repeat themselves.
Yeah.
God, how pretentious.
It's pretty rough. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, sucks to be them. Right, Angela, Shane, and Damien?
I, 18-year-old female, have apparently been dating my best friend, 19-year-old male, for an entire year, but didn't know until today. Need help asking him about it. What? Okay.
Go on.
This is going to be such a suffering from successful post, but bear with me for a second. I've known him for 5 years in different classes and courses, but in the same friend group. Over time, he has genuinely become one of the best people I know, and it's only getting better every day. I can't lie and say he's not my type. Nerdy, charming, sweet, funny, flirty, with the right amount of awkward. He comes to pick me up from class, plays hockey without being a douchebag to the skaters, and most importantly, gets treats for my cat. Multiple strangers have mistaken us for a couple, even close people like our friends, professors, and worst of all, my family. He's kind of perfect, but I've never even thought of putting the moves on him. He's never shown romantic interest in me. We're friends, nothing more. Or that's what I thought. Today, he was spending the afternoon at my dorm, something he started about a year ago. We're laying on my bed mindlessly watching Sonic cartoons when he says, verbatim, "So, baby, where do you want to go this Friday?" Matter of fact, this is the first time I've been called baby by him, so that kind of shocked me. Instead of asking why, I froze and was just like, what's happening Friday? He turns to me and kisses me. Again, first time thing with us, hugs my waist and goes, Our 1-year anniversary, idiot. I'm making reservations. What? At this point, I'm frozen. I genuinely don't know what to say. I'm gobsmacked. The dude I thought was my best friend, who never even showed interest in the dating thing, is under the idea that we've been dating for a whole year. I'm silent while he continues hugging me and scrolling on his phone, racking my brain, thinking about what to tell him when his phone starts ringing. It's his mom, which he puts on speaker, and she deadass goes, "Hi, are you still with your girlfriend?" Oh, so now his mom thinks we're dating too? He tells her yes, asks why she called. She asks for his help with private stuff I will not divulge here. He turns to me and goes, "Sorry, I'll be back in a bit, sweetheart."
What?
I just nodded. I was just like, all right, see you in a bit. No questions, no screaming, just acceptance. He gets up to put on his sneakers and leans down to kiss me again, which I just accept at this point. It's a nice kiss besides the fact that my mind is somewhere else. He leaves and I get a text from his coach. Tell boyfriend's name to come tomorrow at 19. He'll only listen if it's you. The f you mean only me? You're the responsible adult tasked with training these hockey players. Why do you depend on me bringing him to you? But that led me to a rabbit hole of finding out who knows we're dating. Apparently, the majority of the people I talk to think we're dating, or if I'm being correct here, know we're dating and just have never mentioned it to me. I don't think it's a prank solely on the fact that his mom called me his girlfriend. They don't have the closest relationship. She is a very traditional, conservative, and religious Korean woman, always serious and does not play around. When she realized early on that her son did not agree with many of her opinions, she stopped caring for him to the fullest, only keeping it civil for the rest of the family and friends. There's nothing he could have done to have her go along with something like this, especially when she wants him to marry young with a nice Korean girl, which I'm not. Also, he just does not seem like the guy to play with people like this. He might be dumb and oblivious, but not horrible. I don't know what to do now. I mean, he's a great guy, don't get me wrong, and if the last 5 years are anything to go by, he is a great boyfriend, maybe even in the future a husband, but I've never looked at him that way, so I can't say I love him. When this occurred, it was like the glass shattered and I saw how differently he looked at me, how he talked and acted. Stuff that never changed since the beginning, but for some reason I've never noticed. I can't sit here and pretend I love him like that. I wasn't thinking about him in that sense all this time. But on the other side, I don't want to hurt him. He clearly thinks we've been together for that long, so has to have strong feelings for me. And I don't want to step on them and scar him like that. I can't just keep dating him though, something that I've apparently been doing for a year. I could learn to love him eventually. It wouldn't take much, to be honest, but it wouldn't be fair to him or me. In my defense, who dates someone and just does not ask them about it? If the roles were reversed and a year ago something happened where I was like, shit, I love him, this was probably a date. We're probably dating right now. I would have confirmed with him or at the very least said something for the following year, not only at the 1 year mark. I just don't know what to do. I'm scared and angry, disappointed in myself for not recognizing the situation sooner. Feel like I'm stuck between the sword and the wall. Last thing I want is to hurt him, but I also don't want to lie to him. How should I go on about this with him? Yeah, I don't want to lie to him.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Okay, update. Really quick, just an update. No, this is like a short little thing.
Okay.
Before you comment, I've sent a text for us to meet up, and I somewhat already know what I'm going to say to him. I'll try and do an update post after the 48 hours pass. Okay, so this is part one. I'm wondering, this is my theory, either this is actually Mandela effect, and she traversed dimensions overnight, and now she's in a dimension where he's always been her boyfriend. Or he had this thought of just like, what if I Mandela affect her?
Yeah, wait. Yeah, it's Mandela or it's Stockholm. It's one of the two.
What if I just pretend we've always been dating and convince her?
What's really weird, this is the whole plot of Don't Worry, Darling. Have you guys seen that movie?
I've not seen Don't Worry.
Oh, this is Don't Worry, Darling.
This has got to be the most insane gaslight I've ever heard in my life. Like, I've heard of gaslighting, I've witnessed it, I've even experienced it, but this is maybe the king of gaslighting.
That's some
This
Hank
is
Hill
crazy.
right there.
He talked to everyone, and he changed the universe.
The mom phone call has me a little suspicious because that timing is a little too perfect.
Hi, Mom. Hi, are you with your girlfriend? Yes.
Wait, but then she needed help with a personal matter. She's like, I pooped in the fridge. Can you help me?
I pooped in the fridge.
I know we don't talk much, but I pooped in the fridge. Okay, here's some comments. I can understand the not kissing from a religious point of view. I can understand the take it slow from a purely conservative dating standpoint. I cannot, on the other hand, understand why you have no pet names for each other. Is anyone from Korea? How do you guys do stuff over there? Maybe it's a cultural thing, and
okay, his mom's Korean. He's not like from Korea.
Yeah, maybe it's a cultural thing, and though a year was long enough to move the relationship along, how does he pinpoint the anniversary? Did anything change 1 year ago, OP? That's a good point.
Yeah.
What happened a year ago from the state?
That's a great question.
So she says, I'm white and he wasn't born in Korea, but his family still holds traditions even in a foreign country. There were no pet names because there was no relationship. It was never even suggested. Nothing really changed a year ago worth noting. I went back to check on messages and Google Photos, nothing important. I've already sent him a message to meet up after practice. He said yes, so I'll have a talk with him soon. I'm worried this is a horrendous prank. Someone said, this is either the fakest post ever with a ton of plot holes, you're being pranked, or he's f***ing crazy.
Yeah.
Someone said he's never kissed you, called you by a term of endearment, did coupley things, etc. To make it explicit, he thinks you're dating until now? Does he really think couples go an entire year without any of that? None of that makes sense. He's either testing the water, pranking you, psychotic, or there's stuff being left out. Regardless, you need to have a conversation with him. I hope you keep us updated. And someone said, either this guy's crazy or this isn't real. I think all those things, or she's crazy.
Yeah.
She's been doing stuff, and she's just so delusional. Like,
Like he's like, you're doing things that are clearly we're dating.
yeah.
She's like, oh, you got a little something on your lips. Let me just like.
Yeah, sometimes I kiss him out of endearment, but it's not like a kiss.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your lips look really chapped right now. Can I just?
Yeah. Just
This
kind of
is
just like,
so this is so Wattpad coded.
yeah, it does feel fake.
Fanfic.
Yeah.
This is a fanfic. It's like,
Look.
well, this hawk. Wait for the update. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Update. Turns out he's just dumb and sad. Or maybe crazy and psychotic. I did give him way too much benefit of the doubt.
So this guy rocks. So this guy's hilarious.
Okay, this is a big update. I read a lot of comments and messages that were sent to me privately on what I should do. Big thank you to everyone. Majority of you were nice and helpful. Also, big sorry for the sweet lady wishing me a happy future marriage, not happening soon. And to the people saying it was fake, if I had created a good love story, I would have sold it to Netflix or HBO Max or Wattpad instead of being a loser and asking Reddit for fake help. I brought it up to my psychiatrist, showed her the Reddit post I made, a few of the messages I've received, and she basically had the attitude of, hey, remember that great guy? Well, he's a piece of shit now, so let's learn about moving on and not reminiscing on a broken friendship, which I think is the best way to go about this. Now, to be honest, I don't remember much because I wanted to cry from the moment he started talking. Also, I was quiet and only spoke very little because I did not want to make a bigger scene than it already was. I just let him talk for a few hours and then dipped. Towards the end, he was shouting and unpredictable. People were looking, and I just wanted to go home. I decided that we should meet up in a public space. Before his practice, I sent him a text and asked if he wanted to meet up at a coffee shop we both know. He called and said yes, and you sound serious. Should I be worried? To which I said, honestly, yes, you should. He told me to stop joking and then went on to his practice. Fast forward a couple hours, I'm sitting there and he comes in, sits in front of me and thanks me for the food I ordered for him. We start eating, I'm a nervous wreck and he realizes, which led to him asking, are you really okay? You didn't seem good a while ago and from what you said, I'm actually worried now. So I laid out on him. I asked him why he thinks we're dating. Why does everyone else and what led him to thinking that? Now he's just quiet and I'm just looking at him not saying anything. Stuff after this is a bit fuzzy, but because I just wanted to cry. This next shit came very out of the blue for me as well. It's just fucking weird looking back on it. He said something like, I didn't really think we could actually date if I asked you up front. To which I said, that's how relationships usually work though, you ask. To which led him on a tangent about women in general. Opinions that he shared with me and said to my eyes with no regret.
He pulled out his manifesto.
What I saw in front of me was no longer my best friend of 5 years. It was a boy who grew up to be a man and to have a very damaging idea of women. Stuff that I could assign to immaturity, but he had nicer things to say when he was 14 than what he told me now. I just interrupted him and asked what led him to think about women this way, since he never let his family, most predominantly his mother, to be honest, I don't think even the most conservative women in the world would say what he said, but his mother still has some not nice beliefs about women, influence him into these antiquated ideas. He was quiet for a while, and that did give me some pity until he opened that mouth of his again. You know, there's these podcasts. That let me know everything I needed to. Oh, so you're a Tate fanboy now? He starts arguing and yelling that it's not him, but that they know what's right and wrong, how things should be and to be honest. I'm not really listening to him at this point. I just want to get out of there and cry. I'm listening, but nothing is registering. Some of the milder things he started yelling are about women and our relationship with food and how we should have a limited amount, how we're so vulnerable.
What?
What the fuck? How we're so vulnerable and emotional, ready to blame men for everything, and how we start yelling at every minute inconvenience, which is funny in hindsight, how menstrual stuff was a hoax, and that I was no doubt lying.
Okay, I do believe that.
Yeah, that one's real.
And that I was no doubt lying when I couldn't walk from my period pains because I wanted his attention, and that no girl can possibly feel a greater pain than a man. He also said that when we were talking about his course, something to do with car parts, it was not cute and sweet of me, let alone women in general, to act dumb and pretend I'm clueless because that does not make me more appealing. I genuinely don't fucking know how a car works. My fucking bad. I tell him that if this is all a big joke, it's not funny. He interrupts me and talks about how he listens to these men, but doesn't tell anyone because he knows I and our friends wouldn't agree. Tells me I'm not a perfect woman, whatever that means, but that he would still like to date me, but couldn't tell me because I'd say no and ruin his fantasy. I'm crying now, and people are noticing, so I just want to get out of there immediately. I tell him, not verbatim, but along the lines, you're so fucking stupid. You genuinely could have dated me if only you had asked. You could have had everything, but you started listening to opinions of guys who have nothing. How sad can you be to pull a stunt like this instead of asking like a normal person? He starts yelling that I'm wrong, and they know what's right. Starting a whole rant that I don't have the strength to listen to. I stand up, start walking, and he grabs my arm. More people are staring. I tell him to let go, and he only does when I threaten to call the police. I left telling him to never speak to me again. I am now home. I've blocked him on everything and told some friends what happened. They were all shocked by how he acted and what he said. One guy did tell me he was always easy to influence, though. I asked why they thought we were dating, and they told me it was how we acted like a couple. I guess that one is on me, combined with the fact that he told them yes when they asked, and since the behavior checked out, they just never thought about talking about it with me. I'm not responding to any of them right now. To be honest, I'm moving cities in a few months with my family. I used to cry about it nonstop because I'd have to leave all my friends here, including him, and that was the last thing I wanted. Now I'm kind of glad I don't have to worry about bumping into him. I just feel distraught, like that was a nice friendship. It was a pillar of my childhood and now it's just gone. He said and did some nasty things, even if it was in the span of a few hours. If up until moving, he comes up to me personally or tries to pick me up from class, I'll repeat that I do not want him in my life anymore. If push comes to shove, I'll call the police. Not that I'd think they'd do anything, though. I'm also sharing my location with both my older brother and father. Yes, it might be a bit delusional and not needed, but you never know. He was a great guy, and we did have a good friendship up until he decided to view women as objects and date one without asking because he deserves it. I just can't stop crying. I really thought I knew him, and for him to be able to spew those words and opinions at me like that, stuff he's always been against from what I remember, it was shocking. It's only been a few hours, but it's already weird not having that constant text or call happening. I feel like it's kind of empty, but I don't want someone like that next to me. The worst for me is that I see no change. He has no sisters, and his mother does somewhat think that way as well, and so does his father. Maybe the coach could help, but I don't know. I just feel betrayed, I guess. It feels stupid to say, but it's true. I mean, I get men like this every single day. Every girl does. It goes from professors who know me to drivers who are seeing me for the first time. Comments vary, but from just telling me I'm pretty to more gruesome stuff. I'm used to it. I just never expected it to be someone so close to me that I trusted. I don't know when he started thinking like this, but now has me feeling all gross and dirty. If he thinks like this about me and never said it, I don't even want to know what he thinks about our mutual trans friend, what his opinions are actually like when he's always been nice and respectful to her. It does help me chuckle a bit that some of the things he said were just so textbook misogyny that it seems he learned them on a Joker Sigma Instagram account. That is so stupid. It's kind of hilarious if you admit the part where he said, something is not a real problem, and it's pretty bad. Where he said bad things are not a problem.
Oh yeah.
So we get it. So that is that. I thought I had a nice friend by my side, but I guess not. Never trust a guy, even if you grew up with him. They'll disappoint you eventually.
I would like to formally retract my "this guy rocks."
Yeah.
This guy is...
You've been waiting for a while.
Yeah,
the
bro,
moderator's like, you know, I gave this mega asshole to a different person earlier.
Yeah, this makes that guy look like, you know, at first I thought it was funny that you just, but it's like, no, this guy deserves like.
Yeah,
this
this
guy,
is volcanic
I
asshole.
didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
I was like,
we
oh,
we thought Mandela effect could be happening before we thought
I thought
this.
it was a twin situation.
Yeah. I've, you know, I'm 30, like I'm 31, and I see all that shit on Twitter and stuff. But from my perspective, I'm just always like, oh, like it's so easy to like shrug it off. It sucks that there are people who are so influenced by it. Like it sucks, and they unleash it on people in their lives and really hurt people. It sucks.
I really think rarely is it like you stumble upon one random thing and then you're like, wow, my entire opinion changed. Like, unfortunately, she laid it out. It's like he's been surrounded by these sorts of thoughts, these sorts of opinions. Like, he feels as though it's a part of his identity, or like it makes him stronger, or that this is the right thing to do. And then it just leads down this hole of like every possible bad thing makes sense in your viewpoint of the world because it's so backwards that you take. Yeah. It's so disgusting, but this is just for anyone at home. And this is as a man who has done it, if you want to know what women go through, ask one, because you're going to find out the answer, and then you're going to have to change your opinion on the world. You're going to realize what the truth is, and you're going to be like, oh shit, I can't believe I didn't ask a woman sooner. Ask any of them, because they all will have answers for you.
Yeah. It also, it really, like, it blows my mind, because I witness it all the time on the internet, and I witnessed it when I was younger, of guys who have so much trouble in their love life. They're like, no women like me. But they only seek out advice from men. Yeah. And then they wonder why they can't connect with women. Yeah. And it's like, because you're only getting advice from men who don't listen to women. You're at no point are you actually going, like you said, go to the source and ask. Like, and there's also nothing... Truly, I believe, like, as a straight man, there's nothing more valuable in your life than truly a genuine friendship with women. How I got back at a pushy guy on a bad first date. This comes from Petty Revenge. So
I don't like pettiness, I'm going to tell you right now.
You don't like pettiness?
No.
Right now.
Okay.
No.
Don't like it.
Well, you're about to witness it.
I think so.
When I was 18 years old, 10 years ago, I was doing the online dating thing. I live in the US and I'm about 15 minutes from the Canadian border. My date and I went to Canada together on a first date because I couldn't drink in the US but could in Canada. We wanted to go to a bar/casino. He picked me up in his little sports car and we rode together through the border crossing and to the casino. We played some games and had some drinks, and we're having a decent time. I got to a point where I was decently drunk and knew if I had any more alcohol, I would be out of commission. I told my date I was done drinking and wanted to start heading home. Instead of listening to me, he went and got us both another round of drinks, and he handed me a big Long Island iced tea.
Oh.
I told him point blank I couldn't drink it because I was at my limit. He didn't take too kindly to that and got pushy. He told me, you have to drink it. I bought it for you. If you don't drink it, you're going to make me waste money. No matter how many times I told him no, he continued to push me on this. I got very frustrated and upset because I was alone with this pushy man in another country, and I was very upset with myself for getting into this situation. We argued for a while, and eventually I snapped and formulated a little plan. He agreed to take me home after I finished the drink. I took the drink from him and chugged it. We got into his car and started for the border.
Also, hell yeah. He said, I took the drink and I chugged it.
It's important to note that this guy was very proud of his car. He spent the whole drive to the border telling me about all the features of how much he loved it. I spent the whole drive ignoring him and focusing on keeping my sick stomach under control. My goal was to make it through the border crossing at least, which was proving pretty difficult. We did eventually make it through the border crossing, and as soon as we made it back to the US, I turned in my seat to look him in the eyes and told him, I didn't appreciate how you forced alcohol down my throat after I repeatedly told you no. I know my limits and you ignored and disrespected me. I said I couldn't drink more for a reason. Then, while maintaining direct eye contact with him, I started vomiting in his car. Oh. I knew this was coming and specifically oriented myself to cause as much damage as possible. Oh. I threw up on the seat, the floor, the dash, etc. He was freaking out, and I just started crying and telling him this was his fault, and he could either take me home or let me out of the car now, but I will call the police if he doesn't proceed with one of the two options. He dropped me off at home, and I never saw him again.
Whoa.
Wow.
I love it.
She pulled an Exorcist.
I said I didn't like petty. I like petty. That's not petty. You did this.
Yeah.
Now this is the consequences of your actions.
Yeah.
My stomach cannot take this. I know my own limits.
Oh my gosh.
This is what's happening.
That's crazy to make eye contact.
That's incredible. At 18?
Yeah.
Wait, I want to do it.
Oh! Dude, I hope
You did this.
I hope her bravery has gotten her really far in life because, first of all, if that was my daughter, that is so dangerous to go on a first date with someone from a dating app to another country, to a casino,
100%.
to drink where you're typically in your own home, underage. Like, so many things could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
And that person that guy who's driving in control of the situation.
Yep.
Agreed to take the drink. Like, I'm like, wow, she has the biggest balls, I bet. Like, the fact that she drank that and was like,
And chugged
I'm
it.
gonna get this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like it wasn't just like, no, I don't want it. Oh, you have to drink it. No, I don't want it. It sounds like it was like continuous. Like, I really can't drink this.
And who knows what his plans were had she not done that. That's what I'm saying. Like, could have gone very wrong. I hope she's good and safe and happy, but like, oh my God.
Some comments here. That guy tried to play a bad drinking game and he lost. Someone else said, I'm laughing, wondering how coherent your statement actually came out.
That's good. That's good.
You want me to do this and now it's gonna happen. OP responded to that saying, Lord knows it probably came out more like, you disrespect me, bah. I like to think he got the message regardless. Eye contact while vomiting is a grade A power move. I don't think I've ever kept my eyes open while puking. Yeah, she's an X-Men.
Yeah,
she's
she is an X-Men.
awesome. She's kind of kick-ass.
Yeah.
Like, just vomit, just pooling
Right, he has to
around
drive
at
all the way
every
home with all
turn.
that vomit.
Yeah, oh my God. He's
That's
probably terrified
wild.
of her. He's probably like,
I have to
if
drop
this
her
is
off at
her
home.
revenge for this,
Yeah.
I gotta
And I
be
hope
so nice
he
now.
never did that again.
That's true. That's true. So you mentioned like at 18, she was like this. OP said, I was very self-destructive when I was a teenager and I regularly put myself in dangerous situations. I had a lot of trauma and issues, but now as an adult, I feel I've worked through them and act much more responsibly. I definitely look back at this story and cringe at how stupid I was to get in that situation in the first place. Yeah, I mean, you're 18.
18, yeah, oh my gosh. The things I did, like, I've done very similar to that before.
I was a good Christian boy at 18.
Okay, moving on. Angela, the last episode that you were on with Chance, and we read a lot of updates, like Redditor updates.
And I did watch that episode.
And so there was, the most insane story was this story of a woman who, her husband became obsessed with her boss.
Yes!
So she had this boss who was this woman who was like maybe in her late 30s, early 40s, who was this incredible woman. She described her as being really, really awesome. And her husband had kind of a weird like interest in her, and kind of spiraled. So, and then what happened was they start getting a divorce, and then she then finds out her husband is dating her boss. And she talks to her husband. The husband goes, look, it just happened. We met on Bumble. And please don't tell your boss about our divorce and everything, because just please don't mess this up for me. So she ends up talking to the boss, and she goes, hey, like, I heard about you and my husband. We're going through a divorce. My ex-husband, I guess, but I heard you guys met on Bumble, whatever. Then the boss is like, we didn't meet on Bumble. He's been going to my gym for like the past year. Different gym than where they go to. So he clearly
And you were like, two memberships!
Yeah,
Yes, I
he
did
signed
watch it. I
up.
loved it.
He signed up for a different gym membership and figured out the hours this boss was going there. So he effectively stalked this boss, and then they ended up getting together. So last we heard was the boss. I thought they broke up.
Yeah, the boss was like, "This is freaky," and then broke up.
Yeah.
Where it ends is the boss like thanks her for telling her. The husband seems to be a crying, sobbing mess.
Yes.
So it's all kind of out there, but that's where it kind of ended. So it kind of ends on this thought of like, all right, maybe the husband gets kicked to the curb. The boss knows that he's crazy, that's the end. But that's where that kind of ended. So now we finally have an update. I also want to thank our viewers and our fans who posted this update on the Smosh Reddit for us to find. Thank you for doing that. Please keep doing that. Let us know when there's updates. We will find them on our Reddit.
We will find them.
We will find them. So thank you guys. And here we go.
Oh my God.
3 memberships.
It's like season 2 finally came out.
So, update. I'm drowning in despair. My divorce was finalized yesterday, and today I found out that my ex-husband and my boss are expecting their first child.
Oh!
No.
Oh no!
She's drowning in despair.
Karapika is drowning in despair.
If you really want to watch everything coming up to this, go watch episode 10 with Angela and Chance. But I don't know if you remember me. I was here some months ago. I was here some months ago, and you helped me a great deal to cope with my grief. I talked about how my ex-husband was falling for my boss, and I was watching it happening with no power to do anything about it. I hope I can find all my old posts and include them in my bio in case you don't remember me. I filed for divorce and a restraining order against him, and the last time I talked to him was when he came home crying and yelling at me, trying to make me talk to my boss to tell her that he wasn't the creep I made him out to be when I spoke with my boss. I never saw him again after I refused to help him win her back. A month later, his lawyer sent me a letter telling me that my ex-husband had moved to another city and that he terminated the lease on the apartment. I had until the end of February to vacate. I moved back temporarily with my family. I never saw or heard from my ex again. Like I never existed in his life. He signed the divorce papers the second he got them and didn't ask for a trial period. I meant nothing to him. At work, everything was back to normal. I rarely saw my boss, but the few times I did, she just nodded in acknowledgement with a smile. She didn't know who I was before. She wasn't coming to work as often as she usually did anyway, and she was homesick more often than she did. She usually is a working bee. I was glad she didn't try to take out her revenge on me for what happened. She just ignored the subject and never spoke to me again. I found out that my ex-husband found a new job and apartment in his new city and that he was seeing a therapist. I heard that he was trying to build his life back up because all of our friends and our families knew what kind of a creepy stalker he was now and the reason why we got a divorce and he couldn't handle the pressure. I heard that he cut contact with many of our mutual friends, those who defended and sided with me. I also found my own place. I put a down payment on a small apartment near my work and my family, and I was finally starting to come out of my shell. Yesterday, the divorce was finalized, and finally, I felt some sort of hope, some freedom. This chapter is done. I don't know when and where I will find love. I guess I need to start the learning how to trust again before loving and giving myself to someone. I was optimistic. That is until my friend sent me a screenshot of my ex-husband's IG. He had blocked me months ago, but yesterday, the day our divorce was finalized, he made a post with his hand hugging a woman's belly. The caption was, "I can't wait to meet you. I will love you like I love your mother, and I will do so until the end of my time." The woman in the picture is my boss. Today I asked around the office, and the rumors are that she is in a long-distance relationship with her boyfriend. She also announced her pregnancy on her socials, and everyone was congratulating her. Will this pain ever go? What have I ever done to deserve this cruelty?
This is a f***ing wild update.
I did not in 1,000 years think that this is what was next.
That. Oh my God.
I want.
I know the boss found out this guy literally stalked her.
What's the timeline though? Because it is very possible she found out that he stalked her, cut off all contact, and then was like, shit, I'm pregnant. I'm actually a little bit far along. I'm keeping the baby. So sorry, original story, October, but then the update was when she talked to her boss, right? It was December?
December.
So very easily this boss could have gotten pregnant beginning of December, found out something a little bit later, and then gotten back with the guy.
There's a lot of stuff missing, timeline stuff. But either way, I mean, she's still with this guy that she knows is willing to stalk someone.
Yeah.
And long distance with a baby is also a crazy thing.
Well, maybe that's part of it too. Maybe there's the reason that like he didn't move in with the boss or the boss is going to him. Like it's like, hey, I'm pregnant and we have to work things out. You have to go to therapy and I will come to see you so we can work on stuff. Like that's, because the way the boss was presented, unless she's really good at having two faces about things, This is just a shock.
This is shocking. I mean, look, regardless of all of that, what she has to do is she has to move on. I mean, she dodged a bullet.
Yes.
I think she still has it in her head of like loving this guy.
I
and
know,
she's like,
it's really
no,
sad.
like you got to move on. Outside of all this story, how do you guys feel about friends who screenshotted that stuff and sent it to her? Do you think that's like a good? I sometimes feel weird whenever I hear stories about that where it's like my friends sending me photos of my ex with all this stuff being like, hey, did you see this? It's like, I get it. Because I get the side of like, yeah, you're gonna want to know that. That's huge, especially if you just finalized your divorce. But also like, I don't know. I guess we don't know what that conversation looked like.
No, but you're right though. That's like, you wait till you're in person, or you wait till not the first week she finally gets out of her parents' house, and you send her that screenshot. Like, right when she gets her apartment, she moves on.
We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know how that.
But you're
all came
right.
about.
I don't
But
feel
I'm
good
always-
about friends
it's
just
always,
like.
I will say, so the ex-husband, literally the day after the divorce is finalized, he posts these photos on social media.
Oh my!
I mean, look, he is a messed up man.
He's a lunatic.
And she needs to be glad that there's no contact and she's out of this. And like, as long as this boss is not, I guess, like thwarting her at her job in any sort of way, but I would feel unsafe. According to OP's responses, she has been looking for other jobs and hasn't had any luck so far. So she's trying to move on from that
She's
job.
trying.
I do want to say real quick about your point, how do you feel about friends who screenshot? It's obviously going to depend on the situation, but there is another aspect of like, I've been on, I've been the person receiving info, I've been the person who had info to give. And there is an aspect of like, when you find out something that is directly related to something that is actively troubling your friend, and you sit on that information for a while, there's another aspect of guilt where like for 2 weeks they're like, I don't know what is going on, like everything is insane. And then you're like, okay, well I've known for 2 weeks exactly what's been so confusing to you.
That's fair.
And it sucks because you don't want to have to give that information. But like I've also been on the other side of things where like I've gotten information from a friend and even though it hurts, I'm like, okay, well, that's the thing that's gonna let me finally be okay.
That's
like
fair.
that's
Fair.
the thing that let me sever the tie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is crazy either way. I mean, I would fall for, I think I would be so shocked if I was her friend, I would send it so fast because I would be like, no way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When's a good time? When's a good time to tell
I don't know
them?
if anything's shocking at this point with this guy.
this guy is,
I mean,
it's also, it makes me think like if someone stalked you to find you, okay, but you love them very much, they don't stalk other, like what if he like,
they don't stalk all the time.
Just the once.
They
like
just
what
stalked
if
me.
it's just a quirky way they found each other and they just love each other?
That is like every 90s rom-com where it's just like, I found your window and threw notes at it for a year and you're like, no, you're actually going to jail.
I guess I just have a really hard stance on stalking that I
No, I
think
think
is
I do
really
too.
bad.
I'm just bringing it up for conversation's sake.
I'm just bringing it up for fun.
But it is like she must have moved past this.
I really hope we get another update. I mean, what is there to update? Like, this is the situation. She just needs to get out. She needs to get out. She needs to keep looking for another job and remove herself further from this situation.
Agreed.
Because just so much pain and just so messed up.
And like, look, sometimes, even though logically on paper you can look at things like, oh, well, this was bad. He was a stalker. Thank goodness I dodged a bullet. Doesn't matter. Your brain is still wired for like that person being there. Every single neuron in your brain has to relearn what that person did. And like, if you're ever curious about breakups, like look up the article, The Science Behind a Breakup, because it really helps sort of quantify what people are going through. And it goes for grief in any capacity. You have to retrain every part of your brain that something has changed. But sometimes getting a big piece of info like that is truly the thing where you're like, oh,
Yeah,
like, okay. So I'm hoping that there is no more update because I'm hoping that after the few days of hurt, she's clearly coming to Reddit pretty quickly to be like, I don't know where else to go with this information. How do y'all feel?
Yeah.
I'm hoping after that she can finally be like, okay, well, this was the most insane thing ever.
Yeah, there's some comments here.
There's an update.
There's another update just now. No, there's some comments here. There's a saying I heard a while back. The person you divorce is not the person you married. This was not the person you thought of spending your life with. This pain hurts, but the pain will go away. Someone else said, you are free. He is not your husband. He's your ex-husband. You're not tied to him in any way. She will be forever tied to him now. He will find another obsession and move on multiple times. Someone else said, I remember you. The best revenge is finding fulfillment in yourself. Live a damn good life, OP. You owe yourself that much. Best of luck. I fully agree.
Yeah.
I fully agree with all of that. I do think she's. It's it'll take time. It's the day after it was finalized that she just found out. But hopefully a year from now, she's in a much better place. And frankly, yeah, she has no ties to this man anymore.
And like we have no clue the story. This is a messy couple, this new couple. Who knows how it happened, where they're living, if they're in long distance, how it's gonna go.
She doesn't really know this boss either. So, you know, but
update, they've named them Princeton and Yale.
And they want your Hulu password.
And what I think she should do is she needs to just cuddle up, pull up her phone, open up her armpit folder, and
find something that brings you peace.
Futurama posters.
Yeah.
Just scroll.
Just make that apartment feel like home. Hang up some tarantulas.
Yeah, dude. Sounds lovely. Well, thank you guys for being here.
I love this show.
Favorite show.
It really is one of my favorite shows.
Hey,
it's a great show.
Also, like, we got along for a whole episode. No, I'm kidding. There's so many comments in games videos that are like, why are Damien and Angela fighting? It's like, we're really not. Like, it's so weird.
We're never fighting.
Don't think she realizes we've dated before.
Huh? Say it again?
Don't think she realizes we've dated before.
Oh no.
That's rough.
I've had these people already, I'll say
Really?
this. Oh yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. I've been on Hinge for 6 months and seen a couple of people, but nothing has happened for a while. This week, I, a 28-year-old man, noticed a girl I've dated before about 4 years ago, a 25-year-old woman, as new here and thought, nah, she won't match me back. But lo and behold, she did, and we've really hit it off. We messaged for a couple of days before she sent me her number to message. We've been up late at night between work texting, and last night she even called me for an hour and we had a good laugh. But I'm not sure if she realizes we dated before. She blocked me on Facebook and Instagram when we stopped seeing each other because we fell out. Our personalities didn't gel and she hated the fact I went out every weekend. But we've bonded more in the last few days than we ever did before, and I only go for a quiet drink every now and again now. The other night, she mentioned doing something on Facebook, but didn't ask me if I had Facebook myself, and sent me something off TikTok, which we had a laugh about. I know not everyone has social media these days, but a few days in, you'd think she'd have had a bit of a stalk or asked around social media.
Right.
She's suggested we go on a date next Friday because that's the soonest date she's free around work, uni, and prearranged plans, so I'm wondering how and when do I drop the bomb we've dated before. But I've also got to keep her interest for another 8 days, although that seems less concerning right now. I genuinely feel like we could work this time. Now we're both older and more mature, but I'm worried she'll spook. Or maybe she does know, but is also hesitant to bring it up.
How can she not know?
Yeah, like she has to go and be like, oh, I have him blocked on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely early on, in the messaging on the app.
Yeah.
I'd be like, wait, you don't remember me? Like, hey, we dated.
And the way
like,
the way you sell it, the way you play it is like, you know we've dated before, right? You remember that.
Yeah.
You really don't. Are you serious? Okay, I couldn't tell if you remembered or if you didn't remember.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me because I remember and I thought you were just like keeping. I thought we were just not going to talk about it.
Yeah, and you're thinking he could call her.
Oh, it's a phone call.
Yeah.
It's a phone call.
I think it's weird that he was like, I've got to keep her interest for 8 more days. Like
That's
that
weird.
if you're gonna try and wait until you see her in person, that feels a little
I kinda like it.
manipulative tone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like but I think for me, like if I was on her end and they called and were like, hey, like, I'm excited for our date, but I just want to check, like, you know we've dated before, right? And I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, yeah, like, we're both different people. I used to go out every weekend. And I would have been like, oh, like, this is great. So it's like there's also a possibility that we have a chemistry that can work.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that would make me even more comfortable, even more, like, ready to go on a date again.
One of the comments here, you should have brought it up on that first phone call. Now it seems weird that you didn't.
I think you should bring it up now. Your best bet is to play it off like you didn't realize at first that you dated before either. Act like you just figured it out. You know, this is funny, but I just realized we actually went out before about 4 years ago, and just see how she reacts. Yeah, maybe she knows it too and won't spook, but if she does, it's better to find out now so you won't waste any more of your time. That's kind of how I feel, like these 8 days of keeping her interest might be a waste. OP responded, the first message I sent on Hinge started with, I hope you've been keeping well on purpose, but I'm not sure if she caught on. He also said, I also look and sound no different to how I did then and have really distinctive, brightly colored tattoos in my photos, which I had back then. So I don't know how she couldn't possibly know. Wow, someone said, wow, that's one way to break the ice. Good luck, buddy. Yeah, it is shocking that she's not. I think she knows.
But we don't know that she doesn't know.
Right.
We don't know that
So
she
we're
doesn't
about,
know.
but there is an update.
Oh.
3 hours ago.
From
3 hours?
3 hours ago?
It's fresh.
As of filming this?
You had already picked this.
It's still warm.
I think my update comment got lost in the sea of replies, but we texted till late again, and before we went to bed, I asked if I could call her, but made a point it wasn't because I planned on being clingy and making a habit of it. I came clean, and she wasn't bothered at all, just said she thought she'd seen me in passing on a night out. I explained what went wrong, and we addressed why things should work out better this time, and she seemed to agree. She even joked, could this not have been something that could have been said over text to make light of the situation, and then the quick phone call turned into an hour again. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
I knew
I like
it.
Did I hear open and honest communication?
Finally.
Did I hear radical honesty?
Finally.
I love it. I love it. See, it makes me feel more comfortable when I know that I know you.
Yeah.
Right. So, Chance, you said you've experienced this? Did you say that?
Yeah, I have experienced this.
Oh, God, yeah.
With people who are like, and I was on the other end of it. I didn't remember. And it was like, yeah, it was less dating, but it was like, yeah, we've slept together. We've gone home together. I'm like, oh. Yeah, we did. And how was that?
Cool.
But I'm not weirded out by it. They're like, yeah, I knew, and I wasn't weirded out by it. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Now we're here. We're here now. I'm a different person. You're a different person. We've learned. We've grown.
I love it.
Funny. All right.
Wow.
I did have one. I had one guy that I had slept with, and then I started dating this other guy. Messy. I started dating this other guy, and then the guy I'm dating brings this guy around, and he's like, "This is my friend," and I don't remember that I've slept with his friend, but his friend knows apparently. And then the guy I'm dating starts cheating on me with the guy that I've slept with, and then they go off together, and I'm like, "Who the f is this guy?" So I like look him up his thing, and then I'm like, "Oh, I remember these pictures. I've slept with you actually."
Oh no.
Wow.